We're gonna just, yo, what's goody, everybody? Hold up. Yo, what's goody, everybody? It's your boy Addy God back again for another video. Um, Today we are reacting to videos while doing some homework. Really, this is gonna be short. We're just doing this. We gotta get our video on the algo, so we're gonna be doing like a little quick reaction time. I'm studying for my exam right now, so that's why you're gonna see me looking down and not at the video. I'm just gonna be listening to whatever the video is. I don't know if it's gonna be funny. I don't even know what we're gonna be watching. We're just gonna watch something though. Damn, bro. We got a post chat. So I've had a pretty good day, chat. I woke up and I missed my class this morning, but I went to work out instead. So that's not bad. I went and worked out, came back home, and after taking, came back home, I took a shower, and then I got to like start eating. I ate and made like a good meal, bro. I had this salad. It was so good. It was so good, bro. Dude, I need to grab, bro. I'm forever going to get that recipe. Like you gotta cook the chicken yourself, bro. I just realized that. So I'm gonna get the chicken and I'm just gonna start cooking the chicken myself, bro. Cause I was chefing it up today. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hold up. Um, we averaged 2,000 views, by the way. I just wanted to say that's like pretty dope, right? No, I think we're beefing with this other YouTube channel though. They're bro, they made the most trash rap song I've ever heard in my life, bro. Bro, I'm like, we're not beefing, but it's just funny. Like I commented on their video, like, bro, this is trash. I was like, bro, this is so trash. What is this? And uh dude, and like, bro, that video got like 1,000 plus. Like, bro, it ended up being one of his most viewed videos. It ended up being one of his most viewed videos, I think. Dude, and like it got him a lot of traffic too, because I engaged, bro. It's kind of tough. I can't even lie to you. I don't know. I'm not hating on his video. I'm just saying like the song in general is just like trash. Like it's just like my how I feel about the song. I'm sorry, you're gonna post something like that. I'm also gonna like comment how I feel about it. And at least I'm not hiding behind a screen and being anonymous. Like I'm literally telling you that damn near straight up to your face, like bro, that is trash. Like, I'm just saying it with my chest out, bro. It's trash. All right, let's see. Time is not on our side. Time is not, bro. It is not. That's why I'm about to be. I'm saying, y'all think I'm lying, bro. Look, we got hieroglyphics on the freaking paper, bro. So we're gonna be reacting to something, bro. Look, this is our video, 2,000 views right here, bro. Why is our video, bro, versus 200K is crazy. Versus 2.2 mil is wild. We need to watch something educational, bro. Our brain can't be melting while we're taking this exam, bro. We need to watch some educational stuff for real, bro. It can be a little funny, but not like, you know, crazy. All right, listen to this. This is some like Rick and Morty's type stuff. You got 15,000.
Whatever you have to do.
I can never say that's 15K people.
So I'm in the middle of watching Rick and Morty for the first time right now, and I just got to the end of season 3, beginning of season 4. But I had to stop and make a video about this because I was thinking to myself, he can't always be this pathetic, right? Wrong! so far. Jerry Smith is probably the worst excuse for a father in animated TV history. Like, bro, there have been some horrible dads depicted in TV, but never have I seen anyone quite as bad as Jerry. I know it's also common in these shows to make the dad borderline or completely incompetent, which is fine because most of the time I do find it funny.
License and registration, please.
What seems to be the officer problem?
But the main difference between Jerry and the other animated dads is that because they're so comically stupid, most of what they do or how they act is excused. But Jerry isn't comically stupid. He's just a mildly stupid, extremely below average father, and an insecure, narcissistic, fake victim crybaby coward of a man. Basically, you are most likely to know or meet a Jerry rather than a Peter, which is what makes him so unbearable. Here's an example. Homer strangling his only son over something like feeding him lighter fluid after eating fire on a stick doesn't bother me, because no human is as dumb as Homer to eat fire on a stick mistaken for a kebab. But Beth making Morty do his science fair project with Jerry instead of his incredibly genius grandfather because Jerry's insecure about his intelligence, then proceeds to be extremely paranoid about Morty potentially asking Rick to help him. That right there bothers me. Maybe it's because I've known a couple Jerrys in my lifetime. Hopefully all that made sense though, and at least one of you understand what I'm saying. Holy shit, it sounds way better in my head, but I promise it's not a bunch of BS. Anyway, I'm gonna show you 2 episodes where Jerry did shit that made me wish the worst for him. The first one is season 3, episode 9, The ABCs of Beth. So basically in this episode, Jerry is getting a divorce and has been away from the house for a little.
She said I got tickets to Iron Man.
I just thought about it. Won't we get banned if we react to these people's videos, like random videos? Alright, let's see. We'll check it out real quick. We'll check it out. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Oh yeah, we're 10 more subscribers from 500, chat. This is crazy. I think yesterday we were like 21 and we got like we were able to get a lot, like some follows yesterday. So y'all ran it up yesterday, bro. It's so true. Oh yeah, we're 10 more subscribers. Who's that wonderful girl? Dude, that don't go crazy.
Morty and Summer come to visit him only to find that he has telekinetic powers that he got from his new alien girlfriend. Immediately, Morty and Summer are suspicious of her. Rightfully so, because Jerry ends up finding himself soul bonding with her, which is really serious judging by the name. And of course, when warned, Jerry turns it into his kids are jealous of his telekinetic powers and freakishly hot alien girlfriend.
Why don't you just say what you really mean? You think it's cool that having sex with her gives me telekinesis, and you recognize she's got a hot bod like Chitara in Thundercats, but you're grossed out by her avocado-shaped head and blue skin, and you think I want to put a bag and a wig on her head. After all the time and energy I spent teaching you two about race, you ended up racist.
What an idiot. Like, what kind of grown man brags to his own kids about his new girlfriend while getting a divorce? Moving on, as expected, he realizes soul bonding is not the best thing for him to do and wants his 17 and 14-year-old daughter to help him by making them the reason for why he wants to break up with her. They obviously say no. Then the next day, to their surprise, Jerry's psycho alien girlfriend is trying to kill them. Why, you may ask? Oh, because Jerry broke up with her by telling her that it was the kids who didn't like her and caused him to want to break up. What kind of dad, not even a dad, what kind of parent would put their children in danger because they couldn't be grown up enough to break up with somebody properly, then proceed to blame the outcome of the situation on lack of imagination.
I'm not an evil person. I'm just not very imaginative.
I was abducted by the RDA. Now that I'm free.
By the way, if you're one of those people who are just gonna say, bro, it's just a show, it's not that deep, go fuck yourself. I know it's just a show. Just let me shit on this character in peace. So they run away to a cave where Kiara does find them, then proceeds to strangle Summer with the Force. You'd think that this would be enough to alarm her father, right?
Okay, Kiara, let's just run away.
Jerry eventually admits the truth and that he lied and that he's the one who wanted to break up with her, not the kids. Only to find out Kiara only dated him to make her ex jealous. How romantic. Next shitty Jerry moment that makes me only hope for the worst for him. Season 3, Episode 5, The Whirly Dirly Conspiracy, where Rick takes Jerry on a pity adventure so he doesn't kill himself, at Morty's request. He takes him to a planet with a resort that's shielded by an immortality field, so you can't die. Rick and Jerry actually sort of bond for a little bit until Jerry is confronted by the resort manager, who has, like him, a deep hatred for Rick Sanchez and wants Jerry to lure Rick onto an amusement park ride that goes out of the protective shield so they can kill him. Jerry initially declines like most sane people would, but then gets reminded by Rick that due to him moving in with them, it escalated the decline of Jerry's marriage to Beth, and that was enough for Jerry to seal the deal and get Rick on to the Whirly Dirly. Then, while on the ride, Rick admits that he was wrong for ruining their marriage and says he'll apologize when they return home, causing Jerry to instantly regret his deal. They all fight on the ride, crashing somewhere away from the resort and away from the immortality field. Surviving his assassination attempt, Rick is obviously angry that Jerry tried to set him up. While attempting to explain himself, Jerry gets caught in some kind of snake that starts to slowly devour him, which leads to a Rick-like sum up of who Jerry exactly is as a person.
You act like prey, but you're a predator. You use pity to lure in your victims. It's how you survive. I survive because I know everything. That snake survives because children wander off, and you survive because people think, oh, this poor piece of shit, he never gets a break. I can't stand the deafening silent wails of his wilting soul. I guess I'll hire him or marry him.
When I first saw this, I instantly remembered a scene from The Dark Knight that really just seemed to reign true here.
You see, in their last moments, people show you who they really are.
You self-righteous piece of shit! You took my family!
I took your family? Who do you think had more taken from them when you shot 20 cc's of liquid dream killer into my daughter?
I think out of all the punching bag characters on TV, Jerry deserves his hate, like a lot. He's a selfish person too, always whining about his life as if he's the only one who has it bad. But, to his credit, having to give up the man of the house role to your 70-year-old father-in-law, who your kids like and respect way more than you, must be pretty tough. And in retrospect though, Rick is the biggest piece of shit in the series. I don't even have time to list off all his bad qualities. The difference between Jerry and Rick though is that Rick is likable, he's funny, he's witty, also really badass. So you forget all that other stuff he's done. Jerry seems to have zero redeeming qualities, other than just feeling sorry for him. Once again, I haven't watched all of the show. I just started season 4, and my prediction is that Jerry doesn't really change much as a character. But I am also open to having my mind changed. So if you want to let me know in the comments, was everything I said valid? Or am I overreacting and Jerry actually has a lot of good to say about him?
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube. And YouTube Music Premium, a whole app just for streaming music, uninterrupted. YouTube Premium, it's way more than ad-free. Try 1 month on us.
Alright, we're gonna react to Jubilee. No, we can't even react to Jubilee. I just thought about it. It has to be something with sound. Actually, no, yeah, we can. Yo, oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be a good one.
I'm sorry. There's a very big
difference
between the people who are telling people go out and get fat versus a Lizzo who's saying accept me the way I am.
She's not just saying accept me the way I am. She's dressing extremely scantily clad and then saying if you don't think that it's normal for a morbidly obese person to be wearing a G-string in the middle of public, then you're the problem.
Damn. She was not
Being fat or skinny is a choice. Agreeers?
Of course, not every factor is purely choice. I don't think that every factor is, but I do think a majority of it is. And in most cases, for most people, being skinny or being fat is about willpower. It's about the environment you grow up in, sure, but who you choose to associate with, what sort of things you choose to listen to, who you choose to kind of have as your friends around you and support you. All of those things are choices that you can make that will lead you closer towards being one or the other.
I know what I do with my body. I know what I put into it day in and day out. I choose not to eat some days. I choose, how I want to look. And I don't fault anyone for how they want to look or how they want to be, but I think it's a choice at the end of the day. I'm very, always wish-washy on how I want to be presented and if I want to gain weight or not. But the only person that's going to gain the weight at the end of the day is me and me myself.
For me, it's calories in, calories out. Go to the gym, you'll get buff. Don't go to the gym, you won't get buff. I understand that there's genetics that could cause you to want to eat more, but even with the genetics that cause you to want to eat more, the same solution is calories in, calories out.
I think the whole choice is, always determined on who they are. And it's not going to just be a thing done overnight.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of, I think it's like breaking the barrier and breaking a lot of things, not only your body, but also breaking your mental state.
Sure.
And again, that depends on who you are and what you want to go through.
Disagreeers?
I felt like as a toddler, I always viewed myself as big. I grew up in a very poor home, so where my mom couldn't provide the meals that she could healthily. So when we would get free meals, even then, it would be canned food, and it would be very much food that's not as edible. It was food for us, yes, but then I felt like once it reached a point where I was old enough to try to make my own choices, I made all of the wrong choices. I wasn't eating, and I was only eating grapes and lettuce, and that was mainly because I was in a sport, and that sport just worked me out so hard. And it was to the point where I just was scared to eat. I didn't like it. I would only drink water.
When you were eating grapes and lettuce, were you thin?
I was the thinnest I could be.
Were you still big though?
I was still big, but that was the skinniest I've ever been. And that's coming from somebody who was only eating somewhat salads that are just fruit and lettuce and water and maybe ice right before a practice.
Do you think that right now you would not be capable of becoming a thin woman if you wanted to?
Possibly.
She was eating pounds of salad. I don't think they should ask her do you understand you're not supposed to eat too much salad. That's still a lot of food you're eating. You're supposed to eat a moderate amount. And you're not supposed to add too much to it. When her type of salad might be a taco salad. It's I'm trying to say, we don't know, bro.
I would be capable of becoming a thin woman, but since I was young, I was supposed to get blood tested probably when I was very, very young, and I never did. And they had mentioned.
I'm just trying to understand what type of salad she was eating, because it really does vary. You can say I eat salad every day, and that's all I eat. But you're supposed to have 2,000 or 1,000 plus calories every day. You're gonna eat one bowl, 2, 3 bowls? No, I feel like you're gonna end up eating a lot of salad to really catch up with your intake. And for her, she said she's been big, so I think she's been eating more salad than she should be eating, and it just doesn't count as you obviously it's not heavy, but maybe she also is adding extra stuff in there, and she can't sit here and lie and be oh, that's all I've been eating. Some people be capping, bro.
That it could have been because of my weight and how that connects with my thyroid. I never made the connection, and I never had that like leaning parent to be like, go and get checked out, go and do this. Like, your weight is probably not your fault. It was always like, your weight is your fault, so that's your issue.
I mean, I also struggle with, thyroid and my own blood issues. I'm not quite sure, but I do see an endocrinologist and I go see a doctor. It's a choice to do the requisite steps. It's a choice to go grocery shopping instead of going to fast food when it's easy. It's a choice when you're grocery shopping to go to the outer aisles and like not go into the bread section and not go into the junk food section. These are all choices.
As a disabled woman, I can't do a lot of the things that people say, calories in, calories out, oh, you gotta go work out and exert it. A lot of the things that are typical, oh, this is how you lose weight, put me in the hospital. I have to navigate weight differently. I have to look at it differently. My weight is the way it is because of medication, because doctors put me in this position. And I had to learn, okay, am I going to be so hateful of my own body that I am going to backlash and put myself through extreme gym nights, through keeping myself from eating things that I...
This is what I'm saying. In her head, I feel like this is what makes these people not want to work out, bro. And it's not even that, like, bro, you don't need to have extreme gym nights. No one is telling you to have extreme gym nights, bro. Just go to the gym and just work out a little bit, even if it's like 30 minutes, bro. Like, go run, go like speed walk or something like that. Do it every day or something. No one is saying extreme gym nights. Like, you don't need to be in there huffing and puffing, like, bro. But like, the consistency is, damn, shorty right here, fine as hell. Who's this? But no, but like, consistency of you going to the gym is what helps your calories and your metabolism start to speed up. But you saying, oh, I don't want to go and work out heavy, I don't want to do that because, it's just too extreme. It just sounds like you make an excuse to not go to the gym when it's like, you can dictate how extreme your workout is. No one is forcing you to like pick up a freaking 45-pound dumbbell and like curl that shit. Like, no one is telling you to do that, right? So like, you choose that. You can sit here and freaking sweat, puffing and puffing, doing a 5-pound. Like, that's up to you, bro. Like, it's just you making up excuses just to not go, and it's like, come on now, right? And I feel a lot of them make that excuse. Like, it sounds like a lazy excuse. This one sounds lazy. I know this one sounds pretty bad though.
Should be able to eat. You should be able to have a balance. You should be able to go into the junk food aisle like other skinny people do and still not have to worry about gaining 20 pounds.
But I don't think skinny people go into this junk food aisle.
They
I think
certainly do.
They do.
They eat a lot of junk food.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of junk food.
I mean, my DoorDash would tell you otherwise.
There's a thing called set points. There's a ton of research on it, that your body likes to be at specific weights. It likes to be in a specific way. So if you are fighting yourself to lose weight by not eating, over exercising, and you are damn near killing yourself to be at a specific weight, your body's unhappy.
It's important to note that a choice can be harder for people to make due to conditions in their life.
Bro, dog, she said your body is forcing you to be, bruh, that's cap. Everyone likes food, bro. Everyone likes food, bro. Everyone likes food. Everyone enjoys food. If you just want to keep eating a lot of food, just say that, bro. Talking about our body wants to be at a set point. No, it's just how much you crave food. We all crave food, but you have to learn how to control yourself. Right, bro. Imagine you don't have that much food. Now what? Now what? You gonna start eating people or some shit, bro? It's like, bro, I'm saying it sounds crazy as hell. Like, your body is not going to literally start freaking shutting down itself just because you don't freaking eat like a bunch ton every day. That's not true. If you ate literally the average calorie intake, or just even a little bit over, you be straight, bro. But you eating like double the average calorie intake and more. It's like, chill out, bro. I think that sounds like some giver gut to me, bro.
life.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's still a choice. I could say that I had food addiction. I looked to food when I was stressed and this and that and this. And so it's harder for me to choose it than for someone who has like the perfect lifestyle, someone who has parents who are giving them this and that and this. But I definitely still acknowledge that it was my choice. At the end of the day, when I go there and I look and I see, should I order a second hamburger? I'm the one choosing whether or not I order that second hamburger. I'm the one making that choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Want to know I took my business to the next level?
Shorty talking about the demons took over my body. Bro. Shorty said the demons took over my body. For real though. Like how it sounds, bro, it sounds like she's making up excuses like, oh, my body is just gonna like force me to do it. Like I can't do it. Like my body has a comfort zone and I have to stay in the comfort zone or something's gonna happen. I'm gonna implode or some shit. Bro, like dude. She's making up excuses.
Well, it's simple. It's Shopify. Shopify has all the tools in one place.
Hey, you all right?
I don't know. I've been feeling kind of lost lately.
And how is this helping?
Well, I don't know, to be honest. I'm just trying to figure out who I am.
Well, I don't want to hold you back with what works. You might have a breakthrough if you stare long enough, but if you want to talk to someone about how you're feeling, you should check out BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video. With BetterHelp, finding a therapist is easy, regardless of limited options in your area. So you can get the proper help that you need. And it's super convenient because it's online and remote.
Oh, nice. I just filled out a few questions and it says I'll be matched with a professional therapist in as little as a few days.
Whether you're going through a hard time or you want to address a clinical mental health issue, therapy can give you great tools to approach life in a different way. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. For 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/JubileeMedia.
Thanks, BetterHelp, for supporting this channel. Now, let's get back into the episode.
I would rather be skinny than fat. Can the agreeers please step forward?
Ooh, it's a big one.
I think there's a lot of different struggles when it comes to being a bit bigger. And I have a sister that is very, she's 400 pounds and she struggles a lot. She has lymphedema and to shower is really, really hard. So I do think for an overall happy life and zero struggle, I think I'd rather be skinny.
I think that it is common in society to want to be skinny. I think the average person typically wants to be skinny. I'm actually surprised that I didn't see more people come forward on that question. People treat you better. It is what is considered the standard of beauty. Your life expectancy is longer. You tend to be healthier.
I'm also really tall. I'm 6'6", so I kind of wish I could just pick a single struggle because finding clothes and things like that when you're bigger both ways can make it really hard. So if I was skinnier, at least that's one less thing I have to worry about. But also, I've got 2 kids and a wife, and I'm taking care of them. And as you pointed out, I definitely think that I'm at less health risks if I'm a skinnier person, if I'm a healthier person in that capacity. And I would much rather be that so that I could be around for my kids longer.
Can the disagreeers please step forward?
That fast, my dude. Looks like you're on your way to getting skinny. You look like, bro, I'm saying this dude talks fast as hell. He's burning calories. He's doing it the little old-fashioned way. You know, when you're stuck in a little spot, you can't really move too much. You gotta talk fast to burn some calories. I like what he's doing, man. 2 birds, 1 stone. They about to hate,
I'm speaking as someone who actually was a former smaller person, and I had the most body insecurities when I was small. I was constantly living in fear of gaining weight and having people tell me, oh, don't gain weight, don't do this, make sure that your weight is the same. And once I finally gained weight, I realized that first off, life wasn't over. I didn't feel any need to not engage in life the previous way that I had, and the attention that I got was different, but even as a smaller person, you get negative attention. And rather than trying to control my body to avoid that negative attention, I would prefer to address the situation as a society, make it more accessible for everybody to wear we aren't feeling like I have to be a certain way that's normal in order to be treated like a human being and respected.
If I could counter, because I was a bit bigger when I was younger, and that's when I was the most insecure. I would look in the mirror. I did have family members that were skinny, but then I had a family member that was much bigger. And just the way that I perceived myself, I hated it, and I even became anorexic.
Hit me on my ring phone, shawty. Bro, look at this side profile, bro. This side profile is so damn perfect. Damn, bro. Freak. She looks so good, bro. Shawty look good as hell, bro. What? Alright.
Anorexic to like not be big.
I don't think skinny always equates to being healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Skinny doesn't always equate to being healthy. That's facts. Because I remember I was skinny as hell. And that would mean I was healthy. But like, I don't know. Maybe I am healthy. Who knows? But like, I don't think that always means that for sure, Ski. Yeah.
I am fairly skinny. I'm 6'5". I'm 140 pounds last time I checked, and I'm severely underweight. And I know about this on a day-to-day basis. That being said, I don't know where I'd want to lean at an appropriate weight level, but I think it's important to understand for some skinny people, we're not living a great life by any means. And sometimes I feel like that's always kind of lost in translation when they see someone who's really skinny.
I guess it depends on what you mean when you think of the term skinny. Are you thinking of just like an average weight person, or are you thinking of how you are now?
I'm the average weight for like women in America.
Yeah,
so if we're talking about an average, like I'm gonna be the closest.
Oh.
If your biggest priority is to be at a small.
That's the average weight for women in America? Yo, we gotta bounce, bro. Yo. We gotta bounce, bro. Dude, I'm not like saying like ill fat woman. I'm just saying like it just seems like obviously there's a problem. I'm not saying if there's like an absurd amount of like food or maybe an absurd amount of food intake, you could say. I don't know if that's what it is, or maybe if it's the fact that maybe the food that we eat has things in it that makes you fat. You know, it has all these extra ingredients and maybe chemicals, I'd say ingredients, that can make you bloated in a way, or make you gain weight fast, or something like that. Just to like fill up more space in the meal, I guess you could say. But I feel like if that's what it is, I think it is. And plus sugars too, bro. They allow, like, apparently in the UK, they don't even allow you to have a certain amount of sugars in like your food. And plus it forces you to list the calories on every single meal and stuff like that too. In the US, I know it's like that a little bit, but like there's some stuff where they don't really show you the calories for real. But like you always in the UK, apparently you have to know. This is crazy, bro. What? There are now not to say, bro. There are some big bone females out here, bro. For real.
Smaller body, you need to reassess your priorities.
Yeah, not focused on health.
Yeah.
And the immediate tie between skinniness and health, like you emphasized, there is such a gap between the research, because the research has a huge fat phobic bias in it, and there has been research that shows that they aren't, even especially during, let's say, COVID and the correlation between obesity. They rushed through those studies so fast because in society's mind, oh, of course a fat person is going to equal someone who's going to get sick faster, is going to get sick easier. It was an easy jump. So they didn't do all of the testing that they were supposed to do. They didn't check their bias.
So if by saying the study is biased, you're saying that the study didn't account for the variable that obesity may also take a factor into. It's just that there's so many variables in humanity that these pharmaceutical companies could only account for so many during their trials. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're biased. However, you want to talk about bias in studies, actually recently we've been doing the opposite. So for instance, a lot of our studies have been based on BMI. And so we've been showing that, oh, fat people aren't necessarily extremely unhealthy if we look at people with a certain BMI.
Body mass. Hold on. Hey Google, what's BMI? Oh shoot, I was about to say that too, bro. I should have just continued. I was gonna say body mass index. I was literally gonna say that. I was going to say that. I said body mass, and I was like, is it? And I was like, no, I don't even want to sound stupid. I don't even want to sound like I know what I'm talking about. For real. It's like,
However, bodybuilders also have a really high BMI, and so they get counted into that category. And so it wasn't until very recently that they equated for that mistake, and it shows, oh my goodness, being fat is actually extremely unhealthy, like way, way more unhealthy than we ever realized.
You can't gauge health by looking at somebody.
She's so against people being fat, it's not even funny. She's not playing around. She's like, bro, there's no reason for you to be fat. It's like, bro.
Yeah. Like none of my health issues, all of them precipitated my weight gain. But I always get assumed, oh, don't you want to be skinny so that you don't have a cane anymore and you don't feel the way you feel? And it's like, no, because I have lupus and I'm always going to feel like this. Like I have CRPS. It's
No, wait. So she has a cane because she's fat? I thought she was using a cane for something else. And she talking about she's happy now? Shawty, you didn't have to use a cane when you were skinny.
It's going to deteriorate. It's going to continue.
America has an obesity problem.
Y'all all
How
better
can
sit
you
down,
trust
bro.
the reviews you're reading?
All of them better sit down, bro. If they all don't sit down, that is why.
Introducing FakeSpot by Mozilla. Whether on
Can I sit next to you?
Oh, absolutely, you can. I think it's pretty clear. You look at the weight of the average American, you see how obesity has.
That lady herself, literally, bro, that girl was like 300, damn near 400 pounds, bro. Sitting in that chair, bro. Like this. Talking about, this is the average size of the American. Huh? Yeah. There is a huge issue here, bro.
Has affected not just children. I mean, the fact that we have more younger and younger people who are looking heavier and heavier, and you see that, like, you know, the way that weight affects us as a society, and you compare that to how we were in the past. Now, not that we should always, you know, we shouldn't compare ourselves to the era of the Great Depression when people just couldn't find food, of course, but people are heavier now in an unhealthy way, and people are eating unhealthy. They are eating it through unhealthy access to food. They're eating diets high in seed oils. They're eating high corn syrup. They're doing all this kind of stuff that's not good for them that we didn't used to do, and it's bad. It's not a good thing. It's an epidemic. It needs to be quashed in some capacity.
There's so much access to just anything. Like, it's so crazy these days, and you know, I'm so surprised that we're actually supporting a lot of this, you know, and there's always people like, you know, like, it's fine that we have like 3 McDonald's like on the same street. And it's just like, we don't think that this is adding to the problem.
What I think is really sad about that is so many people in America just see the profit in it. I don't want to say I know that these people know the problem, but it's like, how can you not see the problem? They have to see it and just not care. They have to just be like, well, we're gaining profit. Do you see how much this McDonald's is making? Put another one across the street. Like, that's just like how it is.
That's the corporations. It's the medical industry. Having a fat country makes us money.
It doesn't help that our cities aren't walkable either. America is a country of non-walkable.
That is why
bro, that is the most truest statement I've heard, like, in a minute too, bro, from like somebody like contrasting with something that like someone else said a while ago, bro. Like, America has unwalkables, like streets. Like, bro, you'll be walking on the sidewalk, right? And then boom, sidewalk disappears. Now you gotta walk, but the only place you can walk is the street, because next to the street there's a creek right there. So it's like, bro, what? It's like it literally cut off. So there's nowhere for you to walk, and it kind of does set you up damn near to be lazier and fatter, bro. Cause you don't walk you can't walk as much. Like literally in Florida, like if the bus system is so like cracked, right? There's no trains, so it's not like you can hop on a metro system and it takes you like this pronto each time, right? It's a bus system, so like there's random people stopping and stuff like that, and it's like you every single time, and it's so hard to get to your destination because of that, bro. Like it takes forever to get to your destination, and I'm saying it's like they make even just to get like if you don't live somewhere like where there's a metro system and you gotta like walk and you gotta use the bus system, you understand that like bro, they don't make it easy for people who are like walking. We just got a copyright. Dang, bro. We just got a copyright. Hold up. Let me see what type of copyright it is. I want to see what it got copyright first. This sucks. I can't find it, bro. It won't let me know what got copyright. If this got copyright, then we can't watch it. Dang, this was getting so good too, bro. Freak, it was getting good. Oh, let me see. Let me check here. Bro, what? They're getting into the good stuff. Like, bro, dude was talking about they're talking about freaking America being obese, bro. It's not even posted yet. Hold on. It's every day, bro, with the same bully flow. Bully ass school, and now you bullying your bro. I can't see it, bro. We're back on the, alright, we're just gonna, I want to start it back up, but I feel like we're gonna get like copyright again. Let's just finish this.
Wavered a little bit because I think we have a problem with how to treat obesity. I think we have a problem with how to make it so that it is not an epidemic. This is a systemic thing, that we are in a society and in an environment that breeds this. And we are doing it to ourselves, we are doing it to our children, and our corporations and our industries are doing it to us, and they aren't having to take responsibility for
And
it.
they're encouraging it with media. So
And the mukbangs, I was literally gonna bring that up, the mukbangs and like all those videos that just come up to trends for people
not
to do
only
it as
the
well.
mukbangs, but also like Lizzo and other big like media.
I'm sorry. There's a big difference between the people who are telling people go out and get fat versus a Lizzo who's saying accept me the way I am.
She's not just saying accept me the way I am. She's dressing extremely scantily clad and then saying if you don't think that it's normal for a morbidly obese person to be wearing a G-string in the middle of public, then you're the problem. And they're trying to normalize society to this obese culture, which is extremely unhealthy. And
What is an obese culture?
a culture which like normalizes
I'm
obesity.
obese and I haven't even heard that. Well, obesity is already normal, so
well, I don't think it should be normalized, and it wasn't normal
But
just a couple
what's the
decades
difference
ago.
between a obese person, myself, walking around in a G-string or...
Damn, bro, this is the video. This is the video that got copyright. We can't watch it. Damn, that sucks, bro. We're gonna watch some Cody Ka.
All right, hello, fellow stands of things. What would you imagine my video is about today? Are you imagining something?
Could you imagine if I did a video about whatever you're thinking?
What if I asked you to imagine?
Today's video is about imagines. Now, what are imagines? Imagines are like, they're basically like little bite-sized fan fictions. It's like a block of text that people post on Instagram and Twitter that say like, shit like,
oh my god, what could you imagine if Harry Styles, if you bumped into him at the post office and he said, hi, how are you?
There are, however, some very weird imagines out there, so to—
Alright, Chiefs, I'm coming back. I'm about to go get me a little chocolate muffin. Bro, I have the biggest pomegranates. Alright. Alright, I'm back.
Together, we're gonna take a look at them today. But before we do that, I have a super quick announcement that I'm fucking pumped about and that I'm super stoked for, so check that out and then we'll get into it.
What's up, gang? I'm here with Cody. We're practicing a brand new song. Cody, why don't you tell them what that fucking song is called?
We're coming back to Portland and Seattle. Bitch!
Let's fucking go. We're coming back to Portland and Seattle with a whole bunch of new shit. Spanking new show.
Bigger venues.
Brand new music.
Crazy new production.
The tour crew you know and love.
Tom.
I appreciate it. Get the fuck out of my face. The lighting guy. Chris. Dom. And hilarious new jokes.
So what's the deal with diarrhea?
So Portland, Seattle, we want to see you there. This show's going to be incredible, all right? There's going to be more music. It's going to be way bigger.
Way better. It's gonna be insane, and we can't wait to see you guys there. tinymeattour.com.
Get your goddamn fucking tickets.
All right, let's open up our fucking minds and
imagine some shit.
A lot of these are from the Instagram account @WorstImagines. So go give them a follow, and then of course, you know, I gotta shout out the boy Curtis Connor. He's done a couple videos on.
Find the
on
derivative
these as well
of
that
the
are super
function
funny, so
y
check
equals
those
the
out.
cosine
And without further
hyperbolic
ado,
inverse of 3x.
Let's get into it. By the way, I fucking
from our formulas, the
bookmarked a couple
derivative
of these so I
the
could use them in the video, and now my whole explore page is fucking Tom Holland stan accounts. The whole thing.
You will love Tom Holland. You will love him.
This one's called Fuckboy Shawn Mendes. Hey Sean, it's been 45 minutes. Are you coming? The food is getting pretty cold. Sorry I didn't show up. I got a little busy. Oh, that's okay. Another time? Look, I want to be honest. You are a really nice girl, but you aren't really my type of girl. So I was looking if you could hook me up with Sarah. Oh, wow. Okay, this is a lot to take in. Hope you have a great night. I don't mean I don't like you, but you ain't just my type, okay? So what's up with Sarah? No! Sean, you fucking dick, dude. Jesus Christ, he stood her up, dumped her, and then asked her to hook him up with one of her friends, all in like 2 texts. What an asshole. I don't know if I can stand Sean anymore after reading something like this. He's just not the dude that I thought he was. It's bullshit. Also, who would want to imagine this? Like, if you liked Sean, why would you want him to treat you like shit?
Oh my god, I fucking love Shawn Mendes. I want him to disrespect me as a person. Treat me like garbage, Sean, you piece of shit.
Also, the fact that it's a text thread for some reason just makes this so much funnier. Because, like, whoever is reading this is essentially just imagining this.
Fucking spit in my face, Shawn Mendes.
Kick me in the balls, Shawn Mendes. This comment from Mendes Army since 1998 says, please part 2. Why? Why would you want a part 2 of this shit? What the fuck is gonna happen in a part 2? Hey Sean, you're 3 months late on child support payments, and, I don't know, Sean Jr. and I are just getting hungry and we don't really have any money left. Hey, sorry, I was waxing my Bugatti. Yeah, I'm like kind of strapped for cash right now, so you may just have to like not eat for a bit, but I mean like...
This planet's our only home, but we're not treating it that way. Greenwashing speeches and pledges are simply not enough. We can't save the planet by being shy about it. So we're going all in. This means using 100% of our profits for the planet.
Like, you could stand to lose a few pounds anyways. Ha 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 ha. I fucked your mom, by the way. Oh, okay. Bye. Love you, Sean. Alright, here's another Shawn Mendes one. You. I will take you somewhere when I get home. Where and why? The city. And become I want to. We haven't been in a while. But I'm poor. It's called a date, dumphead. I pay for you. Okay, this one is like a little bit boring, but I included it in here because dumphead is probably the best phrase I've ever read in my entire life. What is a dumphead? What is a dumphead? Is that like calling somebody a shit brain? A poop skull? So many variations. That's it. I'm officially renaming all of my subscribers from Chodsters to Dumpheads. We sound like a fucking punk band. Cody and the Dumpheads? It's sick. It's sick. And the merch is just gonna be giant poop emojis that you wear as a hat? Come on! Alright, moving on. Would you save him? From what, exactly? From that beautiful green refreshing lake? First of all, it doesn't really look like he's in that dire of a situation. He's smiling, sort of. I mean, he's like smirking. He's smiling with his eyes, you know, he's smizing. And he's got a fucking life vest on. So then what are you saving him from?
Right.
This fucking a refreshing swim? A good time? That's not a very nice thing to do, is it? And looks like he's married. Look at that finger right there. Ring. So now you're a homewrecker. Nice. Okay, now imagine this. Imagine you're texting MagCon super hunk Cameron Dallas. Cameron, we have a problem. What is it, baby? So don't be mad, but Nash is hitting on me again. Wait, no. Does that say Nash is shitting on me again? Oh man, hopefully it doesn't, because that would just be a whole different category of fanfic. No, he isn't! I said don't get mad, please. No, he fucking isn't. Sorry, I'll just block him. No, baby. What? Why? What? Why? He's coming over for dinner. What? Why? I thought you hated him. I do. That's why he's gonna eat rotten fish for dinner while we eat some gourmet fish. He won't notice a thing.
Ha ha ha! I love you!
Ha! Yeah, Nash. You got punked, buddy. You thought you were eating delicious macadamia nut crusted mahi-mahi like us. You were too stupid to notice that your fish was rotten and putrid and smelled like fucking shit and tasted like ass too, bitch. That's because I got it from the dumpster. You dumphead. Imagine. Cameron was a bad boy. He just got out of prison for fighting someone who made fun of you. Maybe it was the fish thing. You broke up when he went to prison because you don't date bad boys. But when he got out, you saw him homeless on the street. Jesus fuck. You just fucking ditched him. You just ditched him? Oh shit, wait, you're going to prison for defending me? Yeah, I don't fuck with that. Have fun in your cell, you degenerate. He runs to you crying. You couldn't help but say no, but deep inside yourself you felt a spark still. This dude lost everything. He went to prison. He came out of prison, and now he's homeless because of you. And you have the fucking balls to say no to his face? You cold person. I mean, I guess it's me too. I'm supposed to be imagining this too. So now I feel like shit. I'm sorry. You look in his eyes and decide to take him home. You give him a bath and new clothes. Why is this written like we're taking a fucking stray dog home? Mom, can we keep him? While you're brushing his hair, he looks in your eyes and begins stroking his hair. What's up? So he's stroking your hair, and then he looks into your eyes and strokes his own hair? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Alright, let's move on to this one. Holy fuck. This looks like a bad optical illusion. I'm gonna have to squint to read this one. Imagine you see a good-looking man in the distance staring at you. Hold on. That's Jeremy! Dude, he's got fucking binoculars. What a creep. Just, yo, is that dude fucking staring? He's got binoculars. Yo, I'm calling the cops. This is fucked up. Wait a minute, dude, that's Jeremy Renner. Dude, Jeremy! Huge fan, man, huge fan. Check out my tits. Just like all of a sudden it becomes totally fine that this dude is in the park with binoculars creeping on you. Wait a minute, that's Jeremy Renner. Oh, yeah. Look away, homie. You wanna see my dick? I'm close, Sean gasped, pulling on my hair. But I wasn't satisfied. I wanted him to suffer even more. What? Now tell me, Sean, can Camilla do this? I grabbed the knife from the counter and sliced his dick off.
Wow.
By the way, no hate on Camilla. She's cool, but Sean and your name would make a better couple. Happy Mother's Day. What the fuck is... Okay, this one's clearly a joke, but goddamn, that's so funny. Can Camilla do this? Happy Mother's Day, by the way. Imagine, in If you touche my girl again, we will slap you in places you don't want to. L, now run. Your name, boys. He is my doctor. N, oh, but you're my princess, and only the prince can touch his princess. Niall kissing you. That's Niall kissing you. Just wanted to make that more visual for you. Come on, fellas, come on. It's my doctor. If I don't get this procedure, I'm gonna die. Sorry, babe. No one touches my princess but me. I guess that means you're gonna die. That's just how much I love you. It's beautiful. It really is. It's a beautiful story. Some people will do anything for love, and that's a wonderful thing. Also, what a weird threat. If you touch my girl again, we will slap you in places you don't want to. Hey, you talk to my girl again, Doc? And you're getting a slap on the taint. Why don't you skedaddle before you get a swift slap to the nutsack? I'll knock your balls around, dude. I'll fuck your balls up, bro. Get out of here before I slap your ass. Imagine. You and Harry have been dating for 2 months. One day, Harry sees you with your ex-BF. He is angry. His jaw clenches in and no, I'm not gonna say that one. He grabs your hand and pulls you away. Harry, you say. He stares deeply into your eyes. You see anger in them. Your name. You are mine. Only mine. No one can have you. I love you. Kind of seems like he might just be like a possessive abuser with anger issues. Also, just a little side note here, the your names in these, that was really throwing me off. You know, I was really into this one. I really was feeling it here. I was feeling the energy until I got to the your name, and it just fucking, you know, it just, Y/N, it's so like hard to look at. Just fucking put a name there. Fucking, I don't know, Steven. Stevven. Steven. That would be fine. That could be my name. All right, let's move on here. Just imagine Ed staring you down and biting his lip as you come out of the closet with a shiny dress. He gets so turned on. What do you do? Jesus, and that's how he's looking at you? I don't know.
Do it like me. Do it like me. I'm cool as a breeze. I'm cool as a breeze. Yeah.
That's starting to weird me out a little bit. Sorry, but it is. Okay, so I read so many of these that I thought, well, I might as well take a stab at writing a couple, right? See if I have what it takes to create a good Imagine. And, well, this is what I've come up with. Sorry, it's a little bit, you know, can get a little bit, I don't know, just shy when it comes to showing my work, but I think I'm confident in these enough to show them to you guys. So here we go. This one's called Fuel. You come home from go-karting. You have oil smears all over your face and you smell like burnt tires. Harry Styles is in your kitchen eating cereal. Is that my Captain Crunch, you ask angrily with anger? Yes, Harry says. He rips a big wet fart and it smells like butane. Wow, what a smelly one. I love it when you peel off stinkers like that. You drop your go-karting helmet and head towards him with passion. He fucking whips the bowl of Captain Crunch at the wall behind him and it explodes. You start making out. Steven, he says passionately with anger. He eats beef jerky off your ass and pukes. He's the perfect man for you.
Wow.
Hope you guys like that one. I do have one more. I'll just read it. This one's called Spider-Men. You're at home alone watching C-SPAN. Tom Holland busts through the front door, mumbling sweet nothings. But then you realize, wait, that's not Tom Holland. It's just a drunk dude from Hollywood Boulevard dressed like Spider-Man, and he's covered in his own shit. Great Scott! You scream Britishly. Tom Holland appears in your window. He grabs you and you both fall out. On the way down, he tries to use his webs, but he's not actually Spider-Man in real life, so you both splatter on the ground passionately. Happy Mother's Day. Hope you guys like those. That took a lot of me to share those with you, so I just hope you're vibing with those. Well, Steven, that was fun. This was a fun-ass video, and I can't wait to see all you dumpheads in Portland and Seattle. tinymeattour.com if you want to get tickets. And, you know, if you want to join the Dumphead family, if you want to rip stinkers with the Dumpheads, make sure you like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you Dumpheads in the next video. Toilet! Guys, one of the coolest things to happen so far in my career as a global phenomenon is this. My own flavor of Juneshine. Just released. Look at that. Hard kombucha. Let's go! You know, go to your local store. Wherever they sell Juneshine, you can get this flavor, or you can get it online, right here. Or hit the link in the description and get some. Today we're back on Reddit. Not my Reddit. We're gonna jump back onto Sad Cringe, because I haven't perused this in that long. You know, after watching the button so much, I feel this craving to cringe. But sometimes it's not enough, and sometimes you have to feel sad at the same time. Here we go. My wife trained for months to complete her first 10K, 30 meters from the finish. The organizers shut it down. No. No, 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 no. No, come on. This can't be real.
It is. Oh. Really?
Wow.
Yay! Great job! Yay!
Oh my god! Oh, this is the best video on the internet. That's so sad. You couldn't have left it up for fucking 30 more seconds, or like it looked like he didn't see her coming. So then, but then he did see her and it was there. You could have just like lifted it up and be like, hey, just get under there. You know, you made it. But instead he was just like, yeah, I'm fucking just doing my job. Sorry, it's over. You didn't make the fucking cut. So better luck next year, I guess. How long did you train for this? Months? Well, you failed. That's heartless. This man has ice running through his veins. Look, he doesn't give a fuck. He does not give a fuck. He's like, I've been here since 6 a.m. I'm trying to wrap this shit up. It's not my fault you're fucking slow. Jesus. Listen, I shouldn't be saying anything about this at all. I got a race in 2 days, and I'm worried about finishing it. So I'm not even gonna comment on this anymore. Other than saying, you finished the race, in my mind and my heart. I knew you could do it. And I'm proud of you. And that guy's a dick. That guy's an ass. Fuck that guy. You deserve to walk under that inflatable finish line. You deserved it. I really do feel for her though. Like, you know, training for something like this is no joke. Especially when you have no experience. Going from 0 to 10K, that's fucking tough. So mad respect for doing that. But man, this video was hilarious. I'm sorry, it was. That's a good point. I'm reading the comments right now. Someone said, why wouldn't you just like say something? The guy was filming. He even said, oh, come on. Why couldn't he say, hey, dude, my wife's right there. Just keep holding it up. You know, this is on the husband. What are you doing? That was a really strong start. Let's see what we got next. Instagram questions aren't anonymous. What size are your beautiful breasts, and do you like them sucked on? You do know this isn't anonymous, right? And I see you at work. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God. My dude will be paying a visit to HR. That's for certain. Like, what do you even do? How do you even recover from that? There's just nothing. There's no recovery. You fucked up. Shouldn't be sending messages like that to your coworker. Shouldn't do it. What size are your beautiful breasts? I love that he's talking about one breast. What size is that? Because one of them's nice. One of them is beautiful. The other one, just kind of average. And furthermore, do you enjoy when thy sucketh on them? What are you doing, man? Stop being so horny. It's your coworker. Ha, that's embarrassing, but like, do you? Oh, fuck, you caught me. Fuck, that's so embarrassing. But like, just in terms of the question though, you never answered it. Norbert, Queen, have a good day. Sorry if I'm being too polite. Maybe that's why womans don't want to have sex with me. Oh, sad. So sad. Thank you. No, being polite is great. Women don't want to have sex with you because your name is Norbert. Ugh. Damn. Owned. Wow. Owned! I mean, I would say Norbert is the least of his worries. Norbert, it's not that bad of a name. Norbert. It's like kind of geeky and unique, you know? You could use that to your advantage. Yeah, my name's Norbert. You know, my name's fucking Cody. Sucks. Somehow managed. This is the problem right here. Sorry if I'm being too polite. Sorry. Maybe that's why women don't want to have sex with me. I'm such an idiot. I'm such a polite fucking dumbass. Like, what are you doing? I put my compliment in and a sex did not come out. These women are broken. Ah, man, I think Norbert's a cool name. Norb for short. Norb? That's tight. Sounds like a planet. Norb. The girl I like threw away her plastic spoon after she was... I hate this one already. After she was done eating, so I took it home with me when she wasn't looking. I put it on my board. You can still see the food on it. It still even has smell. Fuck. That just fucking ruined my week. That is so creepy. Serial killer vibes right there. Why are you posting that? Whatever this was posted on. It's one thing to do something that creepy, but then to be like, yo, check it out, isn't this sick? It's just like a whole nother level of unawareness. Is that a word? Unawareness? I don't know, but it describes that thing. Oh no, pickup artist video. Oh, I'm so excited, but so fucking dreading this at the same time.
What should you say to a girl when you're trying to approach her? Like, should you, what should you say? Like,
I don't know. Just be like, what's up?
What's up?
Only if you look good, though. If you're ugly, then don't even.
What's up? What's wrong? Am I ugly though?
Oh, never grab. Why are you grabbing? Why? Fuck.
You're done.
Fuck.
Am I ugly though?
Yes.
You're close, bro. You're close, bro. And you set yourself up. What's your YouTube though? He set himself up. Why would you ask that question?
I love what she said at the end. What's your YouTube though? I know I just fucking demolished your self-esteem, but what's your YouTube so that I can watch myself do that again later? That's how much I don't want to date you. Is I want to watch myself reject you again later. To do that and then edit the footage with an L on it and then post it yourself is the biggest L. I'm sorry, but it is. I feel sad. Don't ever grab a stranger, ever. By the way, guys, Noelle and I are gonna be doing another Moment House live stream on September 8th. It's basically just a giant game show. We shot this ridiculous, crazy ass video with Mark L. Wahlberg. We did some hilarious sketches, and then it's gonna be like, we're gonna do a live That's Cringe and like an hour of other stuff. It's gonna be absurd and ridiculous and hilarious, and we're working really hard on it. If you wanna take it, just go to moment.co/tinymeatgang and grab one. I'll see you on September 8th. He didn't need to dig himself into this hole. My school doesn't have official majors, but I'm basically double majoring in video art and art plus technology studies, which is like coding and robotics and shit. Art school, more like fart school, lol. Epic. Fucking epic. Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Fart jokes can never go wrong.
To send that like I did, but it was a joke. Sorry if you didn't get that, haha. Sometimes I'm really sarcastic, lol. But yeah, sorry if that was mean. I'm a little drunk too, like, yeah, sorry. Oh, fuck. My friend was very high and sent that deranged shit. Oops, I'm sorry. Well, what? Calm down, it's fine. Oh, yeah, I was high too, my beat. Oh, damn. You can just feel the self-esteem issues. I mean, this is an epic line, though. Should've just stuck with it. That line was epic. Art school, more like fart school. I mean, that's fucking classic. Just fucking believe in that shit. You know that's gold. That's gold. Believe in it. Oh, no, but sorry about that. My friend was high, but I was high, too, if you think that's cool. If not, then I wasn't high. I was just, drinking a beer or whatever. Like, like non-alcoholic beer, of course, or one with alcohol in it. I forgot to look. I don't know what kind it was, depending on, if you drink or not. But, yeah. But, I don't fart. Do you? I started learning Mandarin Chinese 3 years ago. Today I overheard a group of 4 Chinese girls talking descriptively about how ugly I was. Man, fuck. Motherfucker learned a whole new language just to get roasted in it. Aw, by ugly. Aw. Those are really good jokes, but I just feel sad for this person. Also pretty fucking wild that people just talk shit when they suppose that someone else doesn't know the language that they're speaking in. But that makes me wonder how many people are talking shit about me. Come to think of it, I was in a coffee shop the other day and I heard 2, Spanish people, and one of them was like, pointed at me and said, "Grande nalgas," which I'm pretty sure means big ass cheeks. So, you tell me, is that a roast? I accidentally texted my 14-year-old stepson instead of my wife. Kill me now. Oh, man. Fuck. That's just embarrassing. That sucks. Fuck, why can't you unsend iMessages? Like, how is that not a thing yet? It's 2022. This is a solvable fucking problem. Just one person at Apple has to just make it. Oh, I love this shit. This makes me want to die. Need stuff list. Fruities. Veggie Veggies. Crunch Munch. Hunks of Flesh. Cow Leeks. Baby Rocks. Frozen Potato Stones. Oh my god. Hunks of Flesh Slice, Bounties of the Sea, Old Cow Leeks. You already said Cow Leeks. Fatty Sticks, Cucumbers of Hate, Bone Water. This is like, fuck. Sad Leaf Party, Squishy Wishy Liquid. Listen, I appreciate what your wife was trying to do here. I get it. Maybe you have some stupid things that you say to each other sometimes, veggie veggies or something like that. She was writing down a grocery list. She went a little bit far. It's fucking crazy to me that you would take a picture and post this online. Oh, this is on Our Funny. Oh, so he thought this was funny. Damn. I mean, this is something that, again, it's like an inside thing. If you guys think it's funny, that's fucking awesome. But Don't post that online. And also the biggest thing to me is that like going to the grocery store is not fun. It's a fucking errand. I want it to take the least amount of time possible. Right. I want to walk in. I want to know exactly where everything is. If I have to look for one thing, it makes me miserable. I'm not saying this as like this is right. I know I'm probably in the wrong here. I could be having the best day in the entire world, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop in the grocery store and grab a kombucha or something like that. And I text Kelsey, and I'm like, hey, you want anything from the grocery store? I'm heading there real quick. And she'll hit me with like yeah, can you look and see if they have like grated tofu powder? Something like random like that. And I'm like, oh no. By the way, you know, not a crazy request. Maybe she wants it for a recipe, she's doing whatever. But just the fact that now it's not a quick trip anymore. I have to go in there. I have to figure out what aisle it's in. That takes 10 hours. Eventually you gotta ask someone, hey, do you know where the grated tofu powder is? And they're like, if we have it, it's probably in aisle 4. Did you check there? And then you gotta follow the person like a baby duck. Please lead me to aisle 4. I don't know what I'm doing. So many fucking products in here. I'm overwhelmed. Can you just lead me towards the thing, please? Thank you. And then they're looking. They're like, tofu powder. Let's see, tofu. And you're like, okay. And you're, by the way, you're watching people get in line in front of you. You know, it's like maybe it's like 4:30. You hit it early enough where there's no lines, but now you're having to look for this thing so that slowly people are filing in, and slowly they're getting in line. And you're like, is it here or not? Because he's like, oh, you know what? Maybe it's in aisle 6. Come on through. Let's go. Fucking hell. You know, what the fuck was I even talking about? Oh, yeah, the list. Okay, yeah. So that's why this would piss me off. I'd read this and be like, nothing about the grocery store is fun. I love that we say these words, babe, in private when we're doing something fun like cooking together or whatever. But right now, I have a mission. You're fucking with the mission. I'm not gonna pick up bounties of the sea. I'm not going for fatty sticks or cow leeks. I don't even know what those fucking things are. What aisle are the cow leeks in? Where are the frozen potato stones? I've never heard of that. Anyways, let me know if you think that I'm in the wrong in the whole grocery store situation. I would like to know. And also, maybe I'll have Kelsey on next time and we can discuss that. Because it's a conversation we have pretty often. Because she likes doing errands. She's like, no, I want to do errands with you. I like doing that with you. It's so nice that she's like, yeah, I like doing these shitty things that everyone has to do. As long as I'm with you, I enjoy it. That's so fucking nice and sweet. I wish I was like that. Just anytime I'm in like a CVS, I want to just end it all. Anyways, I hope...
Damn, bro. He got a girlfriend, bro. That's a girlfriend. That's crazy.
If you're sad, pick up a case of these to make you happy. Hippie juice. Look at how sexy that fucking can is. I'm so happy about this, you guys. Really. So grab some. Let me know what you think. Again, send a picture if you pick up a case of this. I really appreciate your guys' support. Couldn't be more thrilled about this. So hope you liked the last video I did with the Trillionaire guys. You know, I'm gonna try and post more on this channel and just kind of fuck around and less scripted and more natural.
When you signed up for pet insurance, you didn't sign up for...
That's kind of awesome. Guys, today we are on r/confessions, and we're gonna read people that are venting, getting shit off their chest. I like to creep around my home and act like a goblin. Oh, yes. I don't know why, but I just enjoy doing this. Maybe it's my way of dealing with stress or something, but I just do it about once every week. Man, I love that once every week. It's like he's got this is like his way to blow off steam on Fridays. He gets home from work, he's like, oh, fucking finally, tough week. All right, let's... Hops on his like fucking stair railing like a little gargoyle. Just, oh, finally. His buddy's like, you want to hit the bar, grab like a pint or something? He's like, no, I got other plans. I can't even. Generally, I'll carry around a sack and... God, this is so funny. And creep around in a sort of crouch-walking position making goblin noises. Then I'll walk around my house and pick up various different trinkets and put them in my bag while saying stuff like, I'll be having that, and laughing maniacally in my goblin voice. Trinkets can include anything from shit I find on the ground to cutlery or other utensils. Oh my god, dude. I really hope this is real. I know this guy's probably just making this shit up, but I really hope it's real. Just picking up your own shit that you bought with your own money and being like, ha ha ha, I will be having this today. Put that in my trinket sack. Ha ha ha. Aha! perhaps I will pop onto the metaverse. I'm just kidding, I don't know what that is because I'm a little goblin. The other day I was talking with my neighbors and they mentioned hearing weird noises like what I wrote about, and I was just internally screaming the entire conversation. I'm 99% sure they don't know it's me, but God, that 1% chance is seriously weighing on my mind. Yeah, imagine their neighbors like looking through the window and be like, what the fuck is he doing? He keeps taking cutlery and just putting in the sack and then he just runs around his house. What are goblin noises? Sounds like a dying pig. What the fuck? Right. Is that what you do? Oh, I love this. God, power to you. Be you, my guy. There's a name for this lifestyle. It's called Goblin Core. I shit you not. No way. Aw, that isn't funny anymore. Now it's sad. What is the difference between cottagecore and goblin core? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm done. I'm done. I don't need to go down that rabbit hole. I'm all good. Thank you. Don't need to know that that exists. So, fuck, that's good. Damn. I will be having this. Ooh. I will be having this. Me and my mate have been eating at an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet for free for the last few years. We start off by going to the bar and have a drink. You have to go through the restaurant to get to the toilets, so we go one at a time. When we come out of the toilets, we just grab a plate, help ourselves, and sit down. Once we're done, we just dip. We've been doing this for a few years now, and the restaurant has never noticed. Man, you've been doing that for a few years? You know, this is one of those ones where it's like, you're not really stealing from the rich, right? It kind of sounds like this might be a family-owned business. You know, the margins on a buffet probably aren't the biggest. So, I mean, like if you're gonna do this shit, do it at Starbucks or something like that, right? Like, I know I said this on the podcast, but like, I feel like a lot of these fast casual places, they just have a full shelf of people's orders waiting to go for like DoorDash drivers and people that online order. Like, what's to stop anyone from walking in there and just grabbing one? Like, no one would. No, I'm not saying do that. I'm not condoning that in any way. All right? I feel like that could get me. I'm just saying. Somebody could do that if they felt so inclined. A sandwich shop by my job puts to-go and Dasher orders on a shelf by a side door and no one checks when you pick up your order. Some homeless guys figured this out during the past 2 years and routinely grab free meals. I mean, that's like literally what I just said. But I mean, it feels like a dick move to like small businesses, doesn't it? It's like, that feels like a dick move. Feels like if you were to do that, it would be at a place like Chipotle or Sweet Green or something like that. I'm not saying do it. I'm not targeting those places. I'm just saying, and I like eating at those places. Just saying, they got money they probably have a little bit of room, you know? Yeah, they probably account for a little bit of theft in their annual budgets. Never seen boyfriend's butthole. Oh, this should be good. As the title says, I've never seen my boyfriend's butthole. We've been together for close to 9 years and he has seen every inch of me, yet his butthole is still a mystery to me. Is it a normal butthole? Is there a face down there? I'll get my answers when we're old and decrepit and I'm there to wipe his ass after he poops, but until then, it's Schrodinger's asshole. Who's to say he even has a butthole? Right. Maybe there's not even one there to show. Maybe that's why you're like, babe, why won't you ever let me see? He's like, there's nothing to see. I don't poop. I don't have a butthole. I don't know what happens to it. My body absorbs it because I've never pooped. You guys should just like, get a little tipsy one night and be like, all right, babe, it's time. Get on all fours. Goatsy me right now. Just pull the cheeks apart. I want to see the eye of Sauron. And then when he finally does, when he opens the cheeks up and you see the pink, and when he finally opens the cheeks and you get to see the chocolate starfish, you have to go like this. You have to say, I'll be having that! And put his butthole in your trinket sack. I have 10 minutes left of work and I need to take the biggest dump of my life. Pray for me, bros. Just go at work. Yeah, go at work. That's one of the greatest joys of life is shitting on company time. Getting paid to shit. I used to take like 9 shits a day at work. Oh my God, and the bathrooms, I worked in like a tech office, so the bathrooms were beautiful. Beautiful. You go in there, go on your phone, go on Reddit, read people's confessions, take a dookie. And then when you're done, stand up, turn around and go, I'll be having that! Ah! Dude, just do it on company time. That is unless you work for Amazon. They've been firing people for going to the bathroom outside.
Hello? 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 I'm at home. Yep. I'm alright. How about you? Okay. Yeah. No. I don't know. Alright. Bye.
Out of break times. Oh, what? Really? Yeah, that's fucking, that's bad. I feel like one of the first things you learn about pissing and shitting is when you gotta go, you gotta go. It's not when you gotta go, you wait till break. That's not what you learn. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Boss makes $1, I make a dime, and that's why I poop on company time. Amen. I just stole some bran flakes and I'm shaking so much. My university has this catering hall, but because of COVID, it's closed down and only used for special occasions. Someone didn't lock up, so I ventured in the kitchen and found tons of trinkets. Tons of shelved foods, canned food, cereal, jam, nuts, chocolate. The stuff is barely used, so I started to think about what I could take with me. Bran flakes. I don't even know what bran flakes are, but I sit here eating some bran flakes with my milk. A much needed edit. I was shaking as a result of fear, not from soft bowel movements. I mean, out of all the canned foods, cereal, jam, nuts, and chocolate, you stole bran flakes? I made it in here. I should probably steal something, but I don't want to go too crazy. A lot of fiber in there, you know? Sounds like you stole yourself some regular bowel movements. I can respect that. A lot of people roasting him for picking bran flakes, but I like bran flakes, honestly. I fuck with those things. They're good. I like Raisin Bran. I do. I've always liked it. I like that the raisins are kind of dry, and they're like kind of like the texture is nice. You can like really bite down into them. They're not like weird like fresh raisins. They're good dried processed raisins. And I like the flakes. Fuck you. I pulled a fire alarm at a random high school to get out of having to rap about being a leader. What? When I was in the 8th grade, me and another classmate of mine were picked to go on a leadership trip. 2 kids from each 8th grade class were picked. Other middle schools were included in this as well. A lot, I think. There were 8th graders there. Anyway, the trip ended up being at high school that was like 40 minutes away. When we got there, there were 12th graders who greeted us. Each 12th grader had a list of 5 or 6 students that would be in their group. Once we were all separated and brought into empty classrooms, we were told that we had to come up with a 2-minute song about being a leader and how to inspire our fellow youths. What? That's crazy as hell. Did you go to a music school? Because if not, that is a extremely messed up task to give someone. Oh yeah, and if you wouldn't mind just making up a song right now, one of the hardest things to do. The 12th grader in charge of our group decided we were gonna rap and be the best of all the performing groups. We came up with lyrics and rhymes, and I was mortified during this entire thing. That's so funny. Yo, what if we spit bars? Every time someone came up with some lame rhyme, I was so anxious and terrified that I had to be part of this group to perform this to the entire 12th grade. We finished, each of us got our 3 or 4 lines. Our rap was gonna start with us putting all our hands in a circle and screaming, "Go, go, go." What? Then we were to spin around to face all the seniors and dance and jump around with microphones and rap about studying and being inspirational and shit. Oh my god. After we finished writing this rap, we were all called down to the gym. Our leader got our sticker, and we were the 10th of 12 groups to perform. I can feel the embarrassment. I can feel the shame. My name is Steven, and I want to say that 8th grade is cool every day. Go, go, go! Each group went, and I was clutching myself and humming to myself as the secondhand embarrassment washed over me. As every group got up, and I had to watch 50 other middle schoolers horribly sing songs while all the seniors laughed and recorded us. Oh my god, this sounds horrible. I was standing at the back of my group while the 9th group performed. I slowly walked backwards, put my hand on the alarm, closed my eyes and pulled it, and immediately jumped forward and pretended to be as shocked as everyone else. Oh my god! We then had to exit out of the gym through the main doors. By the time everything was cleared, our trip was over and we had to leave. It worked! It worked! My grade 12 group leaders were pissed, and so was everyone else in my group.
Red Hot Chili Peppers are back. Anthony, Chad, Flea, and John, live across North America. Pre-sale for City Card members begins.
What the hell, man? We had these bars that we were about to spit. I was about to go, go, go. The people need to see that shit, dude. My grade 12 group leaders were pissed, and so was everyone else in my group. I was never asked if I pulled it or accused. I was so happy to get the fuck out of there. This was in the spring of 2011. Wow. Wow. What an incredible story. I can't believe that worked. Don't they usually like spit some ink on you or something like that so people know who pulled them? I thought that's how those work. Or maybe that's just what they tell you so that you don't pull it. No 8th grader should ever have to write a song and then perform it in front of a senior. I mean, I guess if you do that, it's like you can't really be embarrassed about anything else. It's like, oh, I did the worst thing ever. So, you know, what is acne? You know, I don't care about my acne anymore. I just rapped about the 8th grade in front of the senior class. It's crazy to me that the potential shame and embarrassment was so bad. You just were empowered to do something as rash as that. It's wild. And it worked. Ready? Go, go, go. Yo, my name is Darren, and I don't like the 8th grade. I'd rather be at home playing with Beyblades. My favorite TMG song is Stay Safe. And my favorite celeb chef is Bobby Flay. A few classmates of mine unplugged all of the buses in the bus garage during the middle of winter, so school was canceled for the entire day because none of the buses started with it being so cold and not having been plugged in. This was in probably 2003 and they never found out who did it. Still makes me chuckle to this day. That shit's awesome. Damn, that's awesome. In 5th grade, we had to do the DARE program. There was 3 5th grade classes and one person from each class had to write a speech, how they'll never do drugs, and why it was wrong. Of course they chose me. I had already smoked weed at this point. I bullshitted this speech and had to read it in front of the entire 5th grade class, all the parents, all the cops that came, principal, everybody. I read it and had to shake all the cops' hands, and they gave me a medal. A medal for what, being sober? I then went on to drop out of school and became a drug addict. Sorry, I'm not laughing at. I'm laughing at the you know, the contrast. DARE does not work. All it did was teach me about more drugs that look fun to do. Oh fuck. Well, congrats on being clean. That's really funny. When I was younger, my parents wouldn't buy me a razor, so I used my dad's. To do what? To do what? When I was younger, around 12 to 13, I was just going through puberty and I started growing a lot of pubic hair. I was insecure and asked my parents to buy me a razor, obviously not telling them the real reason. I said I wanted to shave my arms, too embarrassed to say the real reason. They said they wouldn't, so one day I went into the bathroom and saw my dad's facial razor and some shaving cream. I took it and shaved down there with it. The next day I saw him shaving his face with the same one. Listen, I mean, that's gross. It's definitely gross, but I mean, if you've lived as an adult, if you've lived with like other guys, I feel like this kind of ends up happening in general, you know? You look at you know, if you have roommates or whatever, you see a razor on the bathroom thing, you're like, I gotta shave. I hope someone didn't use that for their balls and taint, you know? Not that you'd shave your taint with a razor. I mean, that would be insane. Why are you walking funny? Ah, my taint's all cut up. Just got a bad shave this morning. Got a couple nicks down there. When I was around 6, I sat on my parrot and lied about it. Aww. So my parents were in the garage or might have left me home alone, but that's unlikely. I had a parrot that would fly around the house and hang out with us. I was playing with it for some reason and my dumb ass sat on him. And I remember looking horrifically at its body. Oh, I still feel really bad for doing that. This makes me really sad. Poor parrot. R.I.P. to the parrot. Your parents get home and you're like, Mom, Dad, I gotta come clean. I sat on the bird, and it's dead. But on the plus side... Looks like we have a new trinket!
Damn, bro, we got shadow banned. Mood.
At Take 5, you stay in your car because we're faster than you think.
Oil change is done.
That was so fast I didn't even have time to finish knitting these sweaters. Oh well.
Cheese!
Take 5, the stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a single integrated platform. Add products, showcase them dynamically, and seamlessly track your inventory. Accept multiple secure payments, and design your storefront down to the very last detail. Get all the tools you need Drive more sales with customizable gift cards and flexible product subscriptions. Retain customers with a point-based loyalty program, email automations, and reach millions with sales channel integrations. Complete your setup with a personalized analytics dashboard. Make smart business decisions.
Stated Clearly presents, what is the evidence for evolution? The theory of biological evolution makes two very bold claims about living creatures. First, all living things on Earth are related. They evolved from a common ancestor. Second, the evolution of living things is powered by natural processes, things which can be studied and understood. But is there really any evidence that these two claims are true? Yes. There are so many observable facts from so many different fields of study that the only way we can even begin to talk about them is to group them into categories or lines of evidence. To keep things simple, here we'll focus on evolution's first claim that all living things on Earth are related. We cannot tackle the entire tree of life at once. After all, there's an estimated 8.7 million species alive today. So instead, we'll focus most of our attention on one fairly small but fascinating branch of the evolutionary tree, cetaceans. This branch includes whales, dolphins, and porpoises. Biologists tell us that all these creatures are closely related, and that the entire group evolved from an ancient four-legged land mammal. Instead of taking their word for it, let's look at the facts. We'll start by looking at a few from the field of comparative anatomy, the study of differences and similarities between living things. Whales live in water, and from a distance, they sort of look like giant fish. A close inspection of their anatomy, however, tells us a very different story. Whales, just like land mammals but unlike fish, have placentas and give live birth. They feed milk to their young. They are warm-blooded, which is extremely rare for a fish. And whales do not have gills. Instead, just like us, they breathe air with two fully developed lungs. Whales don't seem to have noses like mammals do. Instead, they breathe through blowholes coming out the tops of their heads. Some whales have two blowholes which almost look like nostrils, but dolphins and porpoises only have one. Surprisingly, if you look at their skulls, you find that the blowhole splits into two nasal passages inside the head. Could it be that the blowhole is actually a highly modified mammal nose? It looks that way, but we'll need more evidence to be sure. Many whales have hair, just like land mammals. In this photograph, you can actually see the whiskers of this baby gray whale as he rests his chin on mama's back. Strangely, whales have arm, wrist, hand, and finger bones inside their front flippers. Here's a photo of these bones, the same bones that bats, hippos, and people have in their front appendages. One bone, two bones, wrist, hand, and finger bones. Modern whales do not have back legs, but they do have a strange pair of bones where the hind legs should be. Here's a picture of these bones from a bowhead whale. They almost look like shriveled hip, thigh, and shin bones. This one even has a ball and socket joint between the hip and thigh bone, just like the ball and socket joint in your own hip. Is this resemblance a mere coincidence, or are these real leg bones? Perhaps leftovers from the whale's evolutionary history. Before we draw any bold conclusions, let's see if a completely separate line of evidence will confirm our suspicions. Embryology is the study of how creatures develop before being born or hatching from an egg. Here we see a dolphin and a human embryo side by side at similar stages of development. Notice that they both have what look like arm buds and leg buds. In humans, the leg buds grow to become legs. In whales, they grow for a while but then stop, effectively fading away as the rest of the whale continues to grow. These are all photographs of a common dolphin at different stages of growth. Notice that early on, we see two nostril grooves on the front of the face, just like you'd expect in a puppy or a human. As the dolphin continues to grow, the nostrils migrate to the top of the head and fuse together, becoming the dolphin's blowhole. So far, we have multiple facts from two independent lines of study, comparative anatomy and embryology, that are both telling us the same story. The ancestors of whales were once four-legged land creatures. Will the fossil record act as a third witness, confirming this idea?
Starting with a blank page can be overwhelming. Grammarly gives you a head start. Simply type a prompt to instantly generate an outline or brainstorm ideas. Download it for free at Grammarly.com.
These are two species of extinct basilosaurid whales. These animals are known for multiple well-preserved skeletons, and they appear to have lived side by side roughly 34 to 40 million years ago. In this photograph, we're looking down at the top of a basilosaurid skull. This is not a model or a cast. These are the actual bones which were pulled from the ground. Notice that the nasal opening is not on the top of the head like those of modern whales, and not at the end of the snout like those of land mammals. Instead, it's right in the middle. This is an intermediate species, exactly what evolution tells us we should find. At the back end of a basilosaurid's body, there are small, yet fully developed hips, legs, ankle, feet, and toe bones. These legs are far too small for walking on land, but they may have been useful while mating, or for scratching away parasites and itchy skin. Evolutionary theory tells us that the further we go back in time, the harder it should be to distinguish whales from normal land mammals. Meet Maiacetus. The hip bones of Maiacetus seem sturdy enough to walk on land, but this animal is considered to be a whale for many reasons. Their skeletons have all been found among fossils of sea creatures, which tells us they lived in the ocean. Their short legs, combined with long, flat fingers and toes, suggest they were strong swimmers with webbed hands and feet. Here we see the bottom side of a Maiacetus jaw and skull. Her teeth match those of the basilosaurid whales we saw earlier, and the unique structures of her middle ear bones match those of basilosaurid whales and modern whales. Maiacetus appears to be a walking whale. Scientists have found the fossils of many ancient whale-like mammals and continue to find more. Together, these fossils blur the line between four-legged land mammals and fully aquatic modern whales, solidifying the idea that whales indeed evolved from land creatures. Now let's look at a fourth line of evidence, DNA. DNA molecules contain chemical codes which act like recipes for living things. Without ever looking at bones, embryos, or anatomy, researchers can compare the DNA code of different living creatures to find out who is most closely related to who. Whale DNA has been compared to all kinds of other animals, fish, sea lions, you name it, and so far, the closest genetic match is to the pudgy, water-loving hippopotamus. This does not mean that whales evolved from hippos, but if this genetic finding is correct, whales and hippos both evolved from a common ancestor that lived roughly 54 million years ago. At first, the link between whales and hippos surprised researchers because whales are mainly carnivores. They eat things like fish and small crustaceans. Hippos, on the other hand, are mostly vegetarian. A closer look, however, reveals that hippos and whales actually share many strange features, some of which may have come from their common ancestor. Ancient walking whales have specially shaped ankle bones found only in hippos and the close relatives of hippos. Just like whales, hippos are known to give birth and even nurse their young underwater. They both have multi-chambered stomachs, which is common for herbivores but is almost unheard of for meat-eating mammals. They are both missing a coat of fur, and here's a fun fact. Whales and hippos are among the only mammals on Earth that have internal testicles. So there you have it. 4 independent lines of evidence all tell us the exact same story. Whales evolved from 4-legged land mammals. But the history of whales is not the only evolutionary history that we've been able to work out. We know from fossils, DNA, embryology, and many other lines of evidence that bird wings are actually modified arms and claws. Birds evolved from dinosaur-like ancestors. We can also clearly see that bat wings evolved from 5-fingered hands very similar to those of monkeys and shrews. We've found that humans share a fairly recent common ancestor with chimpanzees, that mammals evolved from reptile-like creatures, those reptile-like creatures evolved from amphibian-like creatures, those amphibian-like creatures evolved from fish-like creatures, and fish, if you go back far enough, share a common ancestor with segmented worms. So to sum things up, thousands of observable facts from completely independent fields of study have come together to tell us the exact same story. All living things on Earth are related. I'm John Perry, and that's a basic overview of the evidence for evolution, stated clearly. Thanks for watching our show. If you enjoyed it, be sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Twitter. If you want to learn more about whale fossils, and who doesn't, we have links in the description of this video that take you to articles on our website. Special thanks to Tyler Proctor, Zed Gassib, Anthony Danzel, Leon Z. Newman, Rosemary Moscow, and Jordan Colvert. All of these folks volunteered their time and talents to make this animation happen. Special thanks to Dr. Philip D. Gingrich and Dr. Hans Tevison. They both volunteered hours of their time advising us and preparing images of fossils and embryos. I'm proud to announce that for the first time in Stated Clearly's history, this animation was completely paid for with contributions from our viewers. If you are able to help support our work, please visit us at statedclearly.com and click Contribute. So long for now. Stay curious.
Très chic. C'est parti.
This episode of Stated Clearly was made possible through generous donations by Bird and Moon Comics, Proof Avenue, and contributions from individual viewers like you. Stated Clearly presents, what exactly is evolution? In biology, the theory of evolution doesn't tell us exactly how life began on Earth, but it helps us understand how life, once it came into existence, diversified into the many incredible forms we see now and in the fossil record. It also helps us make sense of the way in which modern creatures continue to adapt and change today. In biology, evolution can be defined as any change in the heritable traits, those are physical traits like fur color in mice, spots on the wings of butterflies, or instinctive behaviors like the way that dogs greet their friends with a sniff, within a population across generations. This definition can be a bit confusing, so let's see how it works. All healthy living things, from single-celled amoebas to flowers to dolphins, are capable of reproduction. We have children, we make copies of ourselves. We do this by duplicating our DNA and passing that DNA on to future generations. DNA is a chain-like chemical stored inside each one of your cells, which tells them how to grow and function. Your DNA contains coded information on how to build you. The information in your DNA is different than that of, say, a daffodil's DNA, which is why you look and function differently than a daffodil. The information in your DNA is slightly different than that of Elvis Presley, which is one of many reasons you don't look or act quite like he did. Single-celled amoebas and other simple creatures reproduce by copying their DNA inside their guts, moving both copies to either side of their body, splitting in two right down the middle, and then growing back to full size. If all goes well, the two new amoebas will be exact copies of each other, but in nature, things aren't always perfect. When DNA is being copied, errors can occur which modify the DNA code. This is what we call a DNA mutation. These mutations can produce variation in the body shape and function of the creature who inherits the modified DNA. In this case, our new little friend has an arm that stretches extra long. If he survives long enough to grow and reproduce, that extra stretchy arm, which is now coded for in his DNA, will be passed on to his children. Evolution. Any change in the heritable traits within a population across generations has officially occurred. Reproduction for dolphins and badgers and people is a little more complicated. We have to find ourselves a partner. When two badgers get together and, fall in love, a sperm cell from the father, which contains a copy of half of his DNA, only half, combines with the egg cell of the mother, which contains half a copy of her DNA. The result is a brand new cell with a complete set of DNA instructions, all the information needed to divide and grow up into a brand new badger. The new child matures to be similar to her parents, but also unique because she develops some traits from her mother's DNA and some from her father. Her new combination of traits can be passed on to her children, and again, evolution. Any change in the heritable traits within a population across generations has officially occurred. Besides a unique recombination of her parents' traits, she might also have developed some completely new traits of her own due to DNA mutations. Maybe extra hairy ears, for example. If she survives long enough to have kids, her DNA will combine with the DNA of her partner, and she'll pass on those extra hairy ears to at least some of her children. Again, evolution has officially occurred. So there you have it. Evolution is really pretty simple. Scientists and normal folks everywhere witness evolution happening all the time. Small changes like the ones we've seen here can add up over multiple generations to create dramatic changes. If you were to go back in time just a few thousand years, you'd find that all dogs, for example, originally evolved from an ancestral group of gray wolves. The evolution of those wolves from generation to generation was guided by humans. People were selecting wolves with the traits they liked, letting them breed, and then only keeping the puppies with the most desirable traits. As time went on, different breeders preferred dogs with different features. Some selected for large size, some for small size, some for brains, others for brawn. Today, wolves have branched out into hundreds of breeds, very few of which look and behave much like their ancestors. A massive amount of observable evidence from many different fields such as genetics, chemistry, paleontology, and mathematics overwhelmingly suggests that just like all dogs share a common ancestor, all living things, me, you, pufferfish, banana trees, if you go back far enough, also share a common ancestor. We are literally related. We don't know what the first life form was or exactly how it came to be, but the simple process of reproduction with variation over billions of years looks to be responsible for all the diversity of life we see today. Now, you might be saying, wait a minute, hold on here. Isn't evolution random? To do something functional like turn a wolf into an adorable mini poodle, random evolution had to be carefully guided by an intelligent dog breeder. Researchers claim that all mammals evolved from an ancient shrew-like creature. But the difference between a shrew and an elephant is far greater than that of a wolf and a poodle. Who guided that process? Who was the breeder? In the mid-1800s, two men, Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace, independently discovered that a breeder is not necessarily needed. There is another force capable of guiding random evolution to produce order and complex function. They called it natural selection, which happens to be the entire topic of our next video. But before you move on, let's recap what we've learned so far. Biological evolution is any change in the heritable traits within a population across generations. All healthy living things can make copies of themselves, but they do so imperfectly. Small variations can add up over generations to create dramatic differences in the body form and function of living creatures. Evidence overwhelmingly suggests that all life on Earth is related. So remember, next time you invite family and friends over for a holiday feast, you're actually just inviting family. That includes the turkey and the pumpkin in the pumpkin pie. I'm John Perry, and that's evolution stated clearly. Thanks for watching our show. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to give us a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to us if you want to see more. Stated Clearly is funded by our viewers, and we are in need of support. If you like what we do, consider contributing. You can do so by visiting our website at statedclearly.com. This episode was made possible by viewer contributions and by generous donations from Bird and Moon Comics and Proof Avenue. Make sure to check out Bird and Moon's awesome biology comic strips and posters at birdandmoon.com, and check out the musical talent of AD at proofavenue.com. Until next time, stay curious. This episode of Stated Clearly was only possible with support from our viewers and from Brain Tools LLC, a company dedicated to developing and delivering to patients new treatments for Alzheimer's. Stated Clearly presents What is natural selection? Natural selection is one of several key concepts contained within the theory of evolution. To understand exactly what natural selection is and why it's so important, let's first take a quick look at two other evolutionary concepts, descent with modification and the overarching idea of common descent. Descent with modification is the observable fact that when parents have children, those children often look and behave slightly different than their parents and slightly different than each other. They descend from their parents with modifications. The differences found in offspring are partially due to random genetic mutations. Common descent is the idea that all living things on Earth are related. They descended from a common ancestor. Through the gradual process of descent with modification over many, many generations, a single original species is thought to have given rise to all the life we see today. The common descent of all life on Earth is not a directly observable fact. We have no way of going back in time to watch it happen. Instead, common descent is a conclusion based on a massive collection of facts. Facts found independently in the study of fossils, genetics, comparative anatomy, mathematics, biochemistry, and species distribution. Because the evidence for common descent is so overwhelming, the concept has been around since ancient times. In the past, however, it was rejected by many philosophers and scientists for one main reason. You cannot get order and complexity from random chaos alone. The bodies and behaviors of living things are extremely complex and orderly. Descent with modification simply produces random variation. All through history, no one could explain how complex life arose from simple life through random variation until Charles Darwin discovered natural selection. Charles Darwin, who lived from 1809 to 1882, was a naturalist, someone who studies nature. At the start of his career, he traveled the world by ship, collecting and documenting plants and animals. During his travels, Darwin became very interested in the idea of common descent. He noticed that islands contain species of plants and animals unique to those islands that can't be found anyplace else on Earth, but they often look and behave surprisingly similar to creatures found on nearby continents. Tortoises on the Galapagos Islands can be distinguished from those of Africa. Meanwhile, with the exception of size, they're almost identical to a species found nearby in South America. Darwin believed these similarities could be best explained through common descent. Long ago, a tortoise from the mainland may have drifted to the islands, possibly on a raft of storm debris, and once arriving, laid her eggs. Random changes caused by descent with modification over thousands of years eventually transformed the island creatures and the mainland creatures so much that they could no longer be considered the same species. This idea made good sense to Darwin, except for one thing. The island creatures he found weren't just randomly different from their mainland cousins. They were specially adapted for island life. The Galapagos is a collection of 18 main islands, many of which are home to tortoises. The larger islands have lots of grass and vegetation. Tortoises there grow extra heavy and have dome-like shells. Some of the smaller islands have very little grass, forcing the tortoises to feed on island cactus. The best cactus pads grow on the tops of these plants. Fortunately, tortoises on these islands are equipped with expanded front legs and saddle-like shells, allowing them to stretch their necks extra long to reach their food. It's almost as if these island creatures have been perfectly sculpted to survive within their unique environments. How did this sculpting take place? Random descent with modification alone could never do such a thing. Darwin drew upon his knowledge of selective breeding to answer this question. For thousands of years, farmers have been taking wild plants and animals, and through the process of selective breeding, have sculpted the original wild forms into new domestic forms, much better suited for human use and consumption. The process is slow but simple. If a single plant produces 100 seeds, most will grow to be nearly identical to the parent plant. A few, however, will be slightly different. Some variations will be undesirable, smaller size, bitter taste, vulnerability to disease, and so on. Other variations will be highly valued. Thicker, sweeter leaves, for example. If a farmer only allows the best plants to reproduce and create seeds for the next crop, small positive changes will add up over multiple generations, eventually producing a dramatically superior vegetable. You might be surprised to hear that broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage are all just different breeds of a single type of weed commonly found along the shores of the English Channel. The evolution of this original plant into all the varieties we see today was carefully guided by different farmers around the world who simply selected for different traits. It's important to note that the farmer doesn't actually create anything. Random descent with modification creates new traits. The farmer simply chooses which of those new creations are allowed to reproduce and which are not. Darwin proposed that nature itself is also capable of selection. It may not have an intelligent brain like a farmer, but nature is an extremely dangerous place in which to live. There are germs which can kill you, animals that can eat you. You could die of heat exhaustion. You could die of exposure to the cold. When parents produce a variety of offspring, nature, simply by being difficult to survive in, decides which of those variations get to live and reproduce, and which do not. Over multiple generations, creatures become more and more fit for survival and reproduction within their specific environments. Darwin called this process natural selection. Since Darwin first put forth his idea in the mid-1800s, natural selection has been studied and witnessed numerous times in nature and in the science lab. What started out as a mere idea is now officially an observable fact. Darwin's discovery has greatly expanded our understanding of the natural world. It's led to countless new breakthroughs, and it finally allowed scientists to seriously consider the idea of common descent. So to sum things up, what exactly is natural selection? Natural selection is the process by which random evolutionary changes are selected for by nature in a consistent, orderly, non-random way. Through the process of descent with modification, new traits are randomly produced. Nature then carefully decides which of those new traits to keep. Positive changes add up over multiple generations. Negative traits are quickly discarded. Through this simple, ongoing process, nature, even though it does not have a thinking mind, is capable of producing incredibly complex and beautiful creations. I'm John Perry, and that's natural selection stated clearly. That's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on our Facebook page. If needed, I can be directly contacted from my website at statedclearly.com. Make sure to visit brain-tools.com to check out our recent video on a promising new Alzheimer's treatment. That video shows you the basics of how the brain works, how Alzheimer's destroys memory, and how a brain tools drug called MSF achieves unprecedented revival of memory.
How can you trust the reviews you're reading? Introducing FakeSpot by Mozilla. Whether on your phone or computer, FakeSpot analyzes product reviews and sellers as you shop on Amazon, Best Buy, eBay, and other big online shopping sites. By sorting out the good from the bad, FakeSpot saves you time and money while protecting you from e-commerce fraud. Get FakeSpot by Mozilla as a free add-on for Firefox or your favorite browser and shop knowing you're in safe hands.
Stated Clearly presents, Does the Theory of Evolution Really Matter? When Darwin published his Theory of Evolution in the mid-1800s, he presented us with two very strange and interesting ideas. First, through completely natural processes, living things evolve to better survive and reproduce within their environments. Second, all living things on Earth are related in a single evolutionary tree. These concepts are interesting to think about, but do they have any practical use? To find out, let's take a quick look at a few examples of how evolution is being applied to real-life problems, starting with the mystery of the shrinking fish. In order to maintain healthy fish populations, governments often make fishers toss back the little ones. If you toss them back, they'll have time to mature, hopefully have babies, and eventually grow large enough for fishers to catch them in the future. This method worked great at first, but something strange is happening. All around the globe, people are reporting that adult fish, full-grown specimens of many different species, are shrinking in size as time goes on. What could be the cause of this? Biologist Dr. David O'Conover wondered if maybe our fishing policies were causing fish to evolve smaller body sizes. It is true that small fish are usually young fish, but adults can come in small sizes too. If the small adults are busy making babies, while many of the large adults are busy being dinner, the traits for small body size are much more likely to be passed on to future generations. To test his hypothesis, Dr. Conover and his team set up 3 sets of aquariums, populated each set with 1,000 Atlantic silversides, and fed them all the same diet until they were fully grown. Right before they had a chance to mate, he removed all the biggest fish from the first set of tanks. In the second set, he removed fish at random, this was his control group, and in the third set, he removed all the smallest fish. He let them breed and then repeated the entire process a year later with the next generation. After just 4 years, 4 generations of selection, the adults from the first set of tanks evolved to be half the size of the adults from the third set of tanks. This experiment strongly suggests that throwing back the little ones does indeed cause fish to evolve smaller body sizes. Understanding how this works allows governments to make wiser fishing policies, which will ensure a healthy fish population long into the future. Now let's take a look at another mystery This time from the world of medicine. Where did HIV come from? HIV is a deadly virus which seemed to have popped into existence in the early 1980s. The Center for Disease Control conducted a study which placed one man at the center of the epidemic. This man, a French-Canadian flight attendant, came to be known as Patient Zero and was quickly blamed by the public for starting the disease. Biologists, however, suspected that Patient Zero was not actually the first person to get HIV. To confirm their suspicions and find the true origins of the virus, they turned to Charles Darwin's idea that all living things are related. Scientists collected samples of HIV from multiple patients in the US and found that there were several slightly different versions being passed around. They analyzed the genetic code of each version and began to build Darwinian evolutionary trees for the virus. They built their trees using the same methods that other geneticists use to make evolutionary trees of plants and animals. In addition to simply creating these trees, they were also able to examine the genetic differences between strains of HIV and compare those differences to HIV's estimated mutation rate. Doing this, they got a rough idea of the year at which different strains evolved away from each other. Their results suggest that HIV had been evolving in America before Patient Zero could have ever been infected. Early on, scientists came up with multiple trees which could not be easily linked together. Evolutionary theory tells us there should only be one tree. If we can't link branches together, there must be missing links. On a quest to find those missing links in the true origins of HIV, biologists traveled the globe searching for viruses inside of humans and animals. Different strains of HIV were found in people all around the world. Scientists even looked at tissue samples from the past, which doctors had collected and preserved from patients who died strange deaths. Primitive versions of HIV were found in several human samples and added to the tree, connecting many loose branches. Viruses which were similar to HIV were also found in populations of monkeys and apes. For the most part, these viruses could not infect humans, but researchers began making family trees for these viruses as well, hoping they might eventually find a connection. Dr. Beatrice Hahn, while studying stool samples from wild chimps in Central Africa, found a strain of chimp virus which was almost identical to a human strain also found in Africa. She had discovered a missing link. It told us that HIV did not come from a French-Canadian flight attendant in the early 1980s, but instead came from chimpanzees, possibly as early as the year 1900. The leading hypothesis is that a hunter in southeast Cameroon first got the disease by accidentally cutting himself while preparing the meat of an infected chimp. Understanding that HIV spilled over from animals to people allows us to better understand how the virus works and is helping us prevent new diseases from spilling over in the future. In our final example, we'll see how evolution applies to environmental protection by looking at the mystery of the growing deserts. All around the world, grasslands are steadily turning into deserts. Until recently, no one knew why. Alan Savory, a biologist from Zimbabwe, had been trained to study the health of different plant and animal species one at a time. His understanding of evolution, however, inspired him to step back and look at the health of entire communities of species at once. After all, if Darwin was correct when teaching that living things evolved to better survive and reproduce within their environments, they must be adapting not just to the climate and terrain, but also to the other creatures evolving alongside them. Different species could even evolve to cooperate and eventually depend on one another for survival. For example, sea anemones are marine predators which kill their prey with stinging tentacles. Sometime in the past, clownfish evolved an immunity to these stings, which helped them survive and reproduce. Some clownfish even went on to develop a dependency on anemones, using them as a safe place to hide from other deadly predators. If you remove anemones from a region of the sea, in many cases, the local clownfish will perish. Back in Africa, Alan noticed that as human populations expand, wild grazing animals often disappear due to hunting and loss of habitat. Inspired by Charles Darwin and the grazing research done by André Voisin, Alan wondered if local plants had somehow evolved a dependency on grazing animals. With wild herds gone, the plants were also dying. To test his hypothesis, Allen and his team brought large groups of cattle to a region of dying grassland. They moved the cattle in special herd formations designed to mimic the behavior of wild grazers which once lived in the area. In less than 1 year, the grasslands began to recover. After 3 years, they were thriving. Our understanding of the evolutionary relationships between grasslands and grazing animals is still fairly primitive, but it appears that in most seasonally dry places of the world, plants depend on wild grazers to till the soil with their feet, fertilize with their dung and urine, and remove excess vegetation so that new shoots can grow when the rains return. Understanding how these evolutionary relationships work is enabling us to save these environments for future generations. So, to answer our question, does the theory of evolution really matter? Absolutely yes. Besides just being interesting, the theory of evolution is continually guiding us to new, sometimes life-changing discoveries. I'm John Perry, and these were just a few of the many reasons evolution matters, stated clearly. This animation was funded by a grant from the Howard Hughes Medical Institute to Emory University's Center for Science Education in Atlanta, Georgia. To learn more about evolution and the examples presented in this animation, visit our website at statedclearly.com. To learn more about the Center for Science Education, visit csc.emory.edu. Until next time, stay curious. Stated Clearly presents, what is DNA and how does it work? DNA, also known as deoxyribonucleic acid, is a molecule. It's a bunch of atoms stuck together. In the case of DNA, these atoms combine to form the shape of a long, spiraling ladder, sort of like this one here. If you ever studied biology or saw the movie Jurassic Park, you probably heard that DNA acts as a blueprint or a recipe for a living thing. But how? How on earth can a mere molecule act as a blueprint for something as complex and wonderful as a tree, a dog, or a dinosaur? To help answer that question, let's first take a quick look at amino acids. Amino acids are tiny little chemicals inside our bodies that are so important, they're often referred to as the building blocks of life. There's about 20 different kinds, each with their own unique shape. The neat thing about them is they can be attached to each other kind of like Legos to produce an endless variety of larger particles known as proteins. Amino acids make up proteins. Proteins, along with other chemicals, combine to form living cells. Cells make up tissues. Tissues make up organs. And organs, when they're all put together and functioning, of course, combine to form living creatures like you and me. These proteins that make up our bodies, and keep in mind there's millions of different kinds of proteins, they each have to be formed in the perfect shape in order to function. If they're the wrong shape, they usually won't work. That's where DNA comes in. DNA does a lot of interesting things, some of which we don't fully understand, but one of its main and most well understood functions is to tell amino acids how to line up and form themselves into the perfect protein shapes. In theory, if the right proteins are built at the right time and in the right place, everything else from cells to organs to entire creatures will come out just fine. This here is a simplified model of DNA. It shows us that the steps of the ladder are made up of 4 different kinds of chemicals shown here by different colors and letters. If you look at just one half of the molecule, you can read its chemical sequence or genetic code from top to bottom, sort of like a book. A single strand of DNA is extremely long, millions of letters long. It spends most of its life coiled up like a noodle, living inside the nucleus, or the centerpiece of a cell. Amino acids, however, live outside the nucleus in what's called the cytoplasm. To help DNA interact with the cytoplasm and convert those amino acids into proteins, special chemicals inside the nucleus make partial copies of the DNA code. These partial copies, called RNA, look a lot like DNA, but they're shorter, of course, and they're missing one of their sides. Their small shape and size allows them to fit through tiny pores in the nucleus, out to the cytoplasm, and into the mouth of another particle called a ribosome. Ribosomes are protein-building machines. They read the RNA code 3 letters at a time, suck amino acids out of their surroundings, and stick them together in a chain according to the RNA code. As the chain grows, it bends, it folds, and it sticks to itself to form a perfectly shaped protein. Every 3 letters of the RNA code tell the ribosome which of the 20 different kinds of amino acids should be added next. For example, CAA tells the ribosome to grab a glutamine. AGU tells it to grab a serine, and so on. Once a protein is built, it can then go on to do a number of different things, one of which could be to help form a brand new cell. So to answer the original question, what is DNA? DNA is a molecular blueprint for a living thing. How does it work? DNA creates RNA, RNA creates protein, proteins go on to form life. This entire process, as complicated, as sophisticated, as magical as it might seem, is entirely based in chemistry. It can be studied, it can be understood. I'm John Perry, and that's DNA stated clearly. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, make sure to give us a thumbs up on YouTube and share it with your friends on Facebook or Twitter or wherever it is you happen to share stuff with your friends. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to see more videos. If you have any questions or comments, you can post those in the comment section on YouTube. We do read those, by the way. If you want to learn more about DNA and other cool stuff, check out our website at statedclearly.com. Till next time, stay curious. Stated Clearly presents, what exactly is a gene? Each one of our cells contains 46 strands of DNA. A single strand is made of millions of particles called nucleotides, and these nucleotides come in 4 different types, which scientists have labeled A, C, T, and G. A gene is a special stretch of DNA, a sequence of A's, C's, T's, and G's that code for something. A gene contains information for a cell to read and use, but what exactly does that information do? You might have heard that there's a blue-eyed gene, a freckle gene, possibly even an anger gene, but single genes don't literally make things like eyeballs or freckles or temper tantrums. Genes make proteins. Those proteins then interact with each other and all sorts of chemicals inside the body to build things like eye pigments, freckles, and mood-altering hormones. A single strand of DNA contains thousands of genes or unique protein recipes. Humans have roughly 20,000 altogether. Some genes are small, only about 300 letters long. Others are well over 1 million. The length and sequence of a gene determine the size and shape of the protein it builds. The size and shape of the protein determine the function that protein will have inside the body. Hemoglobin, for example, is a protein structure found in red blood cells. Its unique shape and size allow it to capture oxygen molecules when blood flows near the lungs, and then release them later when blood flows near oxygen-starved tissues. Pepsin is a digestive protein. Its unique shape allows it to break down food inside your stomach so it can be absorbed by the body. Keratin is a structural protein. Its unique shape and size allow it to link together with other keratin proteins to form hard structures like fingernails, claws, and beaks. Different creatures have different genes, which is ultimately why their bodies look and function differently. But one of the many reasons scientists believe all life on Earth is related is that the basic DNA code, the language of A's, C's, T's, and G's, is pretty much the same for all living things. Many creatures even share some of the same genes. You might not be too surprised to learn that humans and chimps, which are closely related, share 96% of their genetic code. But what would you think a lowly fruit fly has in common with a beautiful swimsuit model? Surprisingly, about half of its genes. Because all creatures use DNA in pretty much the same way, genetic engineers have found that if they take a gene from, say, a bacteria cell and insert it into the DNA of an animal or a plant cell, that animal or plant cell will then read the new gene and produce the bacterial protein. Engineers have mixed and matched the genes of different organisms to produce many new creatures, including corn that is toxic to insects but supposedly safe for human consumption, tomatoes that last up to twice as long in the grocery store before going bad, and a new form of bacteria that produce the human protein insulin, which we then collect from these bacteria and give to people with diabetes who need extra insulin to survive. So just to sum things up a bit, what exactly is a gene? A gene is a special stretch of DNA, not the entire strand of DNA, just a segment that codes for something. Each gene is like a unique recipe, which usually tells a cell how to make a protein or a group of proteins. Different creatures have different genes, but all genes are written in the same basic DNA language of A's, C's, T's, and G's. I'm John Perry, and that's Genes Stated Clearly. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, make sure to give us a thumbs up on YouTube and share it with your friends on Facebook or Twitter or wherever it is you happen to share stuff with your friends. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to see more videos. If you have any questions or comments, you can post those in the comment section on YouTube. We do read those, by the way. If you want to learn more about DNA and other cool stuff, check out our website at statedclearly.com. Till next time, stay curious.
Simplicity from a credit card? That's unexpectedly human. The all-new TD Clear credit card.
Stated Clearly presents How Does New Genetic Information Evolve? Segment 1, Point Mutations. In our previous films, we learned that genetic information contained within a stretch of DNA or RNA called a gene, helps determine the size, shape, and even the behavior of a living creature. Humans have over 20,000 genes, which tell our cells how to build and maintain our bodies. The information needed to build a person is obviously different than the information needed to build a mushroom. Biologists, however, tell us that all living things on Earth, including people and mushrooms, evolved from an ancient common ancestor, a relatively simple creature with far less genetic information than the plants, animals, and fungi alive today. If this is true, how did all this new genetic information evolve? We don't yet know for sure how the very first genes came about, but through careful genetic studies of living things in the wild, in the laboratory, and even in our own backyards, we've discovered many ways in which new genetic information evolves today. In this film, we'll look at the simplest mechanism, point mutations. A point mutation is any change that only affects a single pair of nucleotides or letters in the genetic code. They often occur when cells are reproducing, they appear to be mostly random, and they're surprisingly common. Current studies suggest that in humans, every child born has roughly 70 unique point mutations. Most mutations are completely neutral, But if one happens to land in a sensitive spot of genetic code, it often has a negative effect on a creature's ability to survive and reproduce. Natural selection usually takes care of these negative mutations by simply removing them from the gene pool. On rare occasions, beneficial point mutations occur. While the changes they make aren't quite as extreme as what we're used to in the movies, incredible changes have been observed. Researchers in the lab of Dr. Richard Lenski have observed and documented hundreds of mutations in bacteria. One of these, for example, was a beneficial point mutation found in a strain of E. coli. An A from its code was simply replaced with a T. Those who carried the mutation were able to reproduce faster than normal in the lab. In less than 1 year, they outcompeted and caused the complete local annihilation of their non-mutant siblings. Back in 1976, 2 scientists reported a strange mutation in Salmonella that occurred in one of their labs. Their work was recently evaluated by Dr. Michael Behe, who classified their discovery as a rare gain-of-function mutation. The mutation gave these microbes the brand new ability to detect and then eat a rare sugar called D-arabinose. Microorganisms are interesting, but what about larger, more complex animals? Can simple mutations give them new features too? Most domestic dogs, and their wild relatives, gray wolves, have fairly short fur. Some dog breeds, however, have extremely long fur. By carefully studying the genetic code of over 700 dogs, and then comparing their DNA to that of wolves, scientists discovered a single point mutation on a gene called FGF5. This point mutation, which simply changed a G to a T, is largely responsible for the long fur found in dozens of dog breeds, including the Shih Tzu, the Collie, and the Pomeranian. But what about wild plants and animals? Can they undergo positive point mutations as well? Cane toads and their relatives produce a milky toxin in a gland behind their ears that kills almost any animal that tries to eat them. If you could zoom in to see the surface of a cell inside an animal's body, you would find tiny protein structures that act like pumps embedded in the cell's membrane or skin. These protein pumps move electrolytes in and out of the cell. Toad toxins work by attaching to and clogging these pumps, wreaking havoc all throughout a creature's body. Dr. Nicholas Casewell and his colleagues recently found that several different kinds of animals, lizards, snakes, and even hedgehogs, have all independently undergone small point mutations which modify the shape and stickiness of their transporter proteins. As a result, toad toxins fail to attach, meaning that these mutants are now immune to the poison. So to sum things up, point mutations are an excellent source of new genetic information for a population. Dog populations of the past, for example, only had information for growing short fur. Thanks to a point mutation, they now have information to make pups with short fur or long fur. It's important to note, however, point mutations do not usually increase the total amount of information in the genetic code of an individual. Instead, they edit what's already there, meaning that for the individual, when new information is gained, old information is lost. In our next film, we'll look at a special type of mutation called a duplication event. These mutations dramatically increase the length of the genetic code and can even give rise to entirely new genes. Until then, I'm John Perry, and these were just a few simple examples of how new genetic information evolves, stated clearly. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the show. If so, subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'd like to give a special thanks to molecular biologist Dr. Nicholas Casewell. He volunteered hours of his time advising us on this film. To help fund our next animation, click the Contribute link on our website at statedclearly.com. So long for now. Stay curious.
Cater with a click at WawaCatering.com and use code HOLIDAY20 to get 20% off. Gotta have a Wawa.
Stated Clearly presents How do new genes evolve? As we've learned in previous animations, a gene is a long stretch of DNA containing information that codes for something, usually a protein or a group of proteins. Point mutations can edit small bits of information within a gene, modifying the type of protein that it builds. These small edits are extremely important for evolution, but if we compare the genes of, say, a flower to those of a dolphin, we see that even though they do have many genes in common, dolphins also have entirely new genes that flowers do not have. Flowers also have genes that can't be found in dolphins. This observation forces us to ask the question, how do entirely new genes evolve? Point mutations are clearly not enough. Well, it turns out that over the years, scientists have discovered many natural mechanisms for the evolution of new genes. One of the most common and well-understood pathways is a duplication event followed by further mutations. A duplication event is a special type of mutation where, as you may have guessed, a stretch of genetic code is duplicated and reinserted into a creature's DNA. Duplications happen naturally all the time. They can be small, a few letters or nucleotides long. Other times, entire genes can be duplicated, dramatically increasing the length of a creature's genetic code. During duplications, and in the generations that follow, further mutations can occur in the new gene, giving rise to entirely new genetic information that codes for new proteins with new functions. Scientists have directly observed duplication events in the lab many times over. Because of this, they can now examine the genetic code of any living creature, look for known signatures of past duplication events, and begin to piece together an understanding of how specific genes likely evolved. Here we'll look at 3 traits which arose from gene duplications: the dachshund's odd-shaped yet powerful legs, the unique digestive enzymes of leaf-eating monkeys, and finally, the evolution of snake venom. At first glance, you might be tempted to think that the dachshund's short legs are simply a disability. To the contrary, the unique shape of this dog's legs make it a surprisingly powerful digger, and most importantly, allow it to enter small burrows to coax out rabbits, groundhogs, and even badgers from their dens. Other dogs can only dream of such adventures. By looking at the dachshund's DNA, researchers have found that their unique legs are the result of a duplication event. A gene called FGF4 was copied and inserted elsewhere in their DNA. The new gene happens to produce protein in a way that interacts with their growing bones, reshaping the dog's legs and opening up an entirely new hunting niche for the animal. Humans who liked the trait bred the original dog with many others, eventually giving rise to several new dog breeds and proving that sometimes, even the strangest of mutations within the right environment can turn out to be extremely beneficial. Now let's look at the fascinating case of a leaf-eating monkey from Vietnam, the Duc Longueur. Several species of Asian monkeys eat almost nothing but leaves, a diet that would cause humans and most other primates major stomach problems. The monkeys achieved this amazing feat of digestion with the help of several adaptations, one of which was first made possible by a gene duplication. RNase-1 is a protein found all throughout your cells and blood. Experiments have shown that this protein helps our cells fight against viruses by attaching to and breaking down virus genes. In your intestines, RNase-1 does a similar task but for a very different purpose. There, it breaks down genes from the cells of the food you've been eating, converting those genes into nutrients that your body can absorb. In humans, the pH or acid levels of your intestines are pretty much the same as the pH levels of your cells. This allows a single version of RNase-1 to work great fighting viruses in your body and digesting food inside your intestines. In leaf-eating monkeys, however, the intestines are more acidic. This acid appears to be helpful for breaking down the tough cell walls of raw leaves, but unfortunately, the extra acid also slows down RNase-1 proteins, which are extremely sensitive to acid. Scientists have found that a relatively recent duplication of the monkey's RNase 1 gene has fixed this problem. The original gene still makes normal protein to help fight against infections, but the new gene, after being duplicated, began accumulating mutations that slowly made it better and better at functioning in acid. Here we have a clear case of a single gene that was once okay at two separate jobs, was then duplicated, and the two genes have since specialized to produce proteins for different tasks. Now for an exciting yet slightly disturbing example, the evolution of snake venom. Genes inside the saliva glands of most creatures, humans included, produce special proteins that are able to start breaking down food on a chemical level even before it gets to the stomach. Venomous snakes, however, have taken this a step further. Their saliva glands produce venom, a cocktail of proteins and other molecules that kill their prey when injected. Let's see how one of these deadly proteins evolved. Many people assume that blood clots form when cuts are allowed to dry in open air. Amazingly, clots actually form through a series of chemical reactions that can quickly seal a wound, even underwater. This ability is possible in part because of a protein called Factor X. It's found in the blood of many animals including fish, frogs, snakes, birds, and people. Factor X normally exists in a dormant or sleeping state, drifting about the bloodstream with no effect. If a blood vessel is cut, however, chemicals of the damaged tissue activate Factor X at the scene of the injury. Factor X then initiates a series of chemical reactions, causing a clot to form and seal the wound. The saliva of the Australian rough-scaled snake is loaded with pre-activated Factor X proteins. If the snake bites an animal, injecting its saliva directly into the wound, rapid clotting occurs throughout the victim's body. The result is often death. When scientists look at the genes that code for this venom, they see clear signs that the snake's very own Factor X gene, the one that it uses in its own blood, was copied through a duplication event. After, or possibly during duplication, mutations in and near the new gene caused it to produce Factor X protein in the venom glands instead of the blood. As time went on, small mutations built up in the duplicated gene, making it more and more efficient at its deadly new task. Here we see that a gene once used for healing has now evolved to kill. So to sum things up, how is it that new genes evolve? One of the most important and well understood pathways is for genes to duplicate and then accumulate new mutations. Gene duplications, in combination with simpler mutations like insertions, deletions, and point mutations, are happening naturally, right now, all throughout the living world. With these mutations constantly occurring and constantly filtered through natural selection, there are no limits to the variety of new genetic information, new traits, and new species that evolution can produce. I'm John Perry, and that's how new genes evolve, stated clearly. This animation was funded in part by Gene Tools. They produce molecules called morpholinos that allow researchers to selectively silence any gene to investigate the effects on cell growth, tissue, and even cancer. Learn more on their website at gene-tools.com. This animation was also supported by our contributors on Patreon. If you found the video helpful and would like to give back, visit us at statedclearly.com and click Contribute to learn how. So long for now, stay curious. Stated Clearly presents What Caused Life's Major Evolutionary Transitions? When looking at the fossil record and trying to list the most significant events in our evolutionary history, you might want to list the earliest known fish species able to survive at least temporarily on dry land. You might also want to list the first known ape fossils which, just like us, appear to have walked on two legs. While these fossils do represent fascinating transitions into new lifestyles, they don't represent large jumps in complexity. The differences between two-legged and four-legged creatures mainly come down to slight adjustments and how joints fit together. To see a truly large evolutionary jump, what researchers call a major evolutionary transition, we have to travel back much further in the fossil record. In the late 1830s, anatomist Theodor Schwann formalized the idea that the human body, instead of being a single living thing, is actually a collection of individual living cells. Today we tend to shrug this off as common knowledge, but think how amazing this is. You are a colony. The earliest multi-celled animals found so far in the fossil record were primitive sponge-like creatures living in the sea. Before them, all living things we know of were single-celled and came in three different types. Bacteria and archaea, which both tend to be extremely small, and then we have eukaryotes, most of which are still microscopic but far larger and much more complex than the others. The cells that made up the first sea sponges and the cells that make up your body today are strikingly similar to single-celled eukaryotes. The main difference is that your cells can no longer survive on their own. Instead, trillions of them, that's trillion with a T, are all working together in near-perfect harmony to make you, you. The move from single-celled creatures to multi-celled animals was a major evolutionary transition. As a result, your body now represents two distinct layers of life, you as a whole and you as a colony. Bizarre as this fact is, there are stranger things. Inside the cells of all eukaryotes, single-celled and multi-celled, there are tiny structures called mitochondria. Scientists used to think these structures were simply body parts of the larger cell. In the late 1960s, however, Lynn Margulis, piecing together the discoveries of many others, demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that mitochondria were once free-living bacteria. Mitochondria have their own genes. They live, reproduce, and even die on their own inside their larger hosts. Mitochondria feed on the nutrients our cells produce, but they are not parasites. In return for the food they consume, they build and secrete special molecules called ATP, molecules that our cells use as a source of energy. Kill the mitochondria, and the larger cell will also die. This discovery means that you are not just two layers of life, but three. You as a whole, you as a colony of cooperating cells, and each of your cells as an interdependent community of its own. Profound as that is, there's more. Inside each of your cells and each of your mitochondria, there is a genome, a large collection of genes that, together, allow your cells to grow, function, and reproduce. In the early 1970s, Theodor Diener was investigating the cause of an illness in potato plants. The culprits he discovered were the smallest, simplest reproducing structures ever to be described. He called them viroids. They are not cells, they are not even viruses, instead they are single, free-living genes. Moving from plant to plant by hitching a ride on insects, farming equipment, or even the wind, viroids use the chemistry and nutrients inside plant cells to reproduce. The existence of free-living genes strongly suggests that the genome of the first cells on Earth, and by relation, the genome in your cells today, can actually be thought of as a collection of individual genes working together in cooperation. In other words, your body represents four layers of life. You, your colony of cells, the many communities making up each one of your cells, and the collection of genes that make up every cell's genome. Each new layer of life is the result of what scientists call a major evolutionary transition. What was the cause of these transitions? The answer is cooperation.